Body, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Real Life Relationship Growth Tuesday. Chat it up. Oh, I look like I'm hesitating a little bit. Hey, good evening. Hope you guys had a great day. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Um, we are on episode 5 of the It's Your Fault series. The It's Your Fault series. So we are going to go ahead and get started. You know, y'all, I can't ever get started without my people cutting up. Without my people cutting up. Okay, okay. All right. We gonna get started. Let me introduce the crew because we know what this is. The Real Life Relationship Growth Channel platform, family get together, all of that. We are normally on Thursdays, but we have been on Tuesdays for the last now 5 weeks because this is episode 5 of the It's Your Fault series. The It's Your Fault series. So I'm going to get my crew on, the professionals. We always do this. We do this every week because it is not only necessary, but it is mandatory. I'm going to introduce my girl first, Miss Corey B, the educator. What's
Hey.
up, Corey?
Ooh, ladies first. Ladies first.
What's up, my girl?
Man, everything's good. I just gotta say, where can I order a t-shirt? Because I need one. I really
Okay,
do.
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I have t-shirts. I have t-shirts. So
All right.
I'm gonna make sure I let you guys know how to get a t-shirt because
Yes.
anybody can order a t-shirt. A real
Yes.
life
I need to
relationship.
show up proper and support.
One of these, or there's several different ones. You guys actually can see them on all the videos. I switch it up every week. So if you go to
Ooh.
YouTube, which hopefully everybody's on YouTube, because we don't have any source other than that right now. We're on YouTube. So welcome. All right. So next we're gonna have Mr. Tony. What's up from Uniquely Made? I'm sorry, Cortland from Uniquely Made. What's up, sir? I,
It's
no
always
offense.
Portland. It's always
Oh, my
Portland.
bad. I'm
I'm,
sorry. I
I'm
was supposed
sure
to
we
say
have
something.
audio, but he just go ahead.
Right, because I don't
We're
have
gonna
no
He
intro.
sign
go
I
ahead.
don't get a
today.
song when I
What's up,
come
sir?
on.
All inclusive.
I don't get a song when I come on. I
No,
don't have
get
no
used to
intro,
it.
so I was just miming out here.
We've already concluded. We've already concluded that y'all will not be getting a song. So you got to deal with that thing.
Tough,
How are you today?
tough. I'm
You
great. The
good?
same way I ain't got no shirt. That's the same way I don't get no song. But I'm not gonna bring that up.
Donna been flossing. She been
Listen,
snapping a shirt
honestly,
every week.
honestly,
And we out here looking regular.
every time you
Right.
come to visit, the shirts are here. They're accessible, but we always forget. We always forget. All right, all right. We go
Hey,
ahead with that.
but listen, people. She made sure I had a Christmas outfit when I got there. I'm just saying.
Oh,
I can
y'all,
get a shirt.
the whole family. I had everybody online. We all dress alike for Christmas. I'm that chick. Yes. All right. And next, we're gonna say tonight, not last but not least, because we still have Mr. Rogers coming up. He'll be joining us shortly. But we're gonna bring on my boy Mark from Date Night Online. What's up, sir?
Oh, what's happening? What's going on? Happy Tuesday. Happy
Yeah.
Tuesday. As she say, what so what you call me? You call me Mr. Date Night. Is that what you call me?
I said, Mr. Mark of Date Night
Hey.
Online. That's what I said.
Well, guess what? Call me Mr. Date Night.
I was like, I like that. Mr.
Mr.
AK,
Date
Date
Night.
Night.
I like
guess
Okay.
what? AKA Dr. Phil. Right? And that's F-E-E-L.
F-E-E-L.
F-E-E-L. Dr. Phil.
Feel.
FPL.
You feel me?
Okay. Okay.
Dr.
Look,
Phil.
I'm gonna have to get my notepad. I'm gonna have to jot that down. Make sure
Mr. Feel.
make sure I remember next time.
You're
Make sure
gonna
I
be good
remember
in
next
bed,
time.
That
but
was
you're
that
gonna
was on the
feel.
fly right there. I didn't even
That
know
was
that I
like,
was
yeah,
gonna say
I
that.
thought so. That seems like it just gotta just yeah. That's what I'm
Corey,
talking
what you
about.
just say?
I said, might feel good, might feel bad, but you're gonna feel.
No, it's all good, baby.
Oh,
It's all good,
It's
huh?
all good. We're
not
gonna
quite
leave
sure
it
what
at
that
that.
feeling gonna be, huh? I'm sure it's going to be all good. There's nothing but gentlemen here.
And gentleman.
True.
We're gentlemen and we are gentlemen. Okay?
Gentlemen. That's right. That's right. That's right. All right, y'all. So as I said, our relationship expert,
Mhm.
Mr. Rogers, will be on in the short. He's doing what he does. As soon as he finishes session, he'll be in with us and he'll pop on the screen. We'll get him pop. So, but we're gonna get started. We're gonna get into this thing. The 5th episode, y'all. This thing is, I'm loving this. I'm enjoying this. The 5th episode of the It's Your Fault series. For those of you who do not know, who have been here once, which is tonight, we did an episode of Ladies, It's Your Fault. Men, then we did Men, It's Your Fault. And we decided, you know what, we need to keep this thing going with the fault series. So we're coming up with different scenarios. You guys are sending different scenarios, and we working this thing out. We working this thing out together, because the whole focus and the whole goal is to promote healthy, growing, productive relationships. Whether you're married, whether you're dating, we want to get it all in there. All right. So our topic tonight, it's your fault. Ooh, I have episode 4 on here. We're on episode 5, right, y'all?
Yes.
I don't know.
Episode 5.
This got to be
Yes.
5.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
think
All right.
And guess what? Real quick. We are on what I did. I'm gonna tag you, Donna. We are on Facebook. I went ahead and just cast us
Thank
on
you.
Facebook. So we got Facebook users out there too. So
Yes.
you'll have
Thank
that
you.
too.
Thank you. I'm getting that straight, y'all. And for y'all don't know,
What up, Facebook?
my page got hacked, so I had to create a new one, of course. And the new real life relationship growth page is up and coming. All new.
I have a question
Yes, sir.
for all the Facebook people out there. How many of y'all thought y'all got hacked today during Facebook's blackout?
Everybody,
Right. I thought I got hacked.
I'm like, again.
Yeah, I called my partner, my business partner. I was like, hey man, check my Facebook page, bro. That's the first thing I said. He goes, don't panic. I was like, I'm not panicking, man. Just check it.
Yeah, I got a phone call.
I'm trying to figure out what AT&T and Facebook got in common.
Man.
It was probably Elon Musk that shut it down. You know, him and Meta, they battling. So he might hit the switch early today.
They battling. Okay. So yeah, I'm glad you did that. Mark, because there's some people already commenting on Facebook, and I'm not seeing it. So thank you so much for that.
They just happy to get back on. How many people might come in here today? They be like, my shit work today. I'm gonna
I'm gonna use it.
Let me use it for something else happens. So yeah, y'all can help me out and keep track of those comments on Facebook. Because sorry, guys, I'm not seeing it, not here live on the feed.
Welcome, Keisha.
But all right, y'all.
Nah, it'll be on your main.
Delicious, welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. You see him?
Yeah. Keisha, Joy. What is that? Where are my glasses?
You was about to say Nacho. Listen, I was about to say Nacho.
I was about to say that too, but I think it's.
I'm gonna try it. And look, whoever Neho. If I'm right, put a thumbs up.
Hey, Neho. Right. Yeah.
It's always her fault, though. In the end, once she realizes that, everything gets peaceful. Wow. We just jumping in with violence. Wow.
The ghost. Right. The ghost.
What up, Paul? You
don't even have a topic yet, sir.
Right. Antitheus.
You put it on there. It's already up there.
Oh, it is on there. My bad.
They ready for this one.
Yeah, they ready. They ready. They ready. You said Paul. Paul's on there.
Yeah, he said your hair looks
He
nice.
said your hair looks nice.
Thank you, Paul. Is that my brother-in-law, Paul? Why am I not seeing these comments?
That is your brother-in-law, Paul.
Thank you.
That's on
Thank you,
YouTube.
Paul. Okay. Oh, I see it. Oh, okay. Here we are. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you, sir. Because the eyes and my glasses are over there and I'm not moving. All right. All right. So we broke up. Scenario. The scenario is this couple has been together for some years, for some time. Let's say about 3 years, right? And out of the blue, we're not gonna say the guy or the girl. Somebody out of the blue came in with a little whammy and was like, you know what, this is not working for me. I don't want to be here. Y'all, that was our little tag. Nobody, I don't want to be here.
I really don't want to be here.
Just don't want to be
here. Hashtag.
She got a lifetime of experience. Really don't want to be here.
Right. Really don't want to be in. We don't know if it's the man that said it or if it's the woman that said it. We're gonna leave that on the table for a minute and let this thing go both ways. But they said they, just pop up. They just pop up with, I'm done. I'm tired. I don't want to be with you. I don't think we should be together. Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? When you think things are going great and you get blindsided with the I'm done. I just don't want to be here anymore. Whose fault is it? What y'all say?
I'll say this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be fair, right? I'm gonna be fair. In most cases, when it's like that, I'm going ahead and say it's typically come from our side when we don't communicate properly, right? A lot of times, women are gonna take you along that path of, hey, in most cases, hey. I'm feeling this way. I would like for us to do that. Right? And sometimes I would probably say for men, it's in our head, right? We typically have those type of conversations in our head. And so I think in this particular case, I would probably say due to the lack of communication from us men's it would probably be our fault due to that, just for this exercise. And I'll talk about the woman on the next one, but I'll start there.
Okay. All right. Hello, sir, Mr.
What's going on, family?
Good evening.
I was waiting on Mark to say they just don't want to be
that too.
Yeah, we kind of went in with it. Yeah, okay. Okay, you know what? Found a new little tool last week that I did not realize I had access to, but we're gonna start using this thing tonight. All right. So based off of, we're gonna put this comment up.
This is our first super chat.
Mark made a very good point. Super chat.
Yeah, this is a super chat.
Paul said it's your fault because you're better to communicate along the way to know what is going on. So no matter which side it came from, you weren't communicating. You get to the point of where you like.
But there's no way the other person. There's no way the other person can't know. I think it's both of them, because one person isn't saying how they're feeling, but unless you are a superb actor or something, there's no way you can hide your feelings. So the other person that you've been with all this long should have noticed something is going on. So either one person is acting like things are okay when they know it's not. The other person, they're just not saying what's very obvious.
So should I start with the controversy early or just wait?
Good Lord.
Listen, I was just about to say I was going to pull a Cortland.
Go ahead. This is going to be good. Go ahead.
Go ahead, pull a Cortland.
Because here's the truth of the matter. It's very few times where somebody doesn't say anything. Right? And we have to be honest about that. And let me just break this down about communication. Women love using that term, communicate, 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 communicate. Well, you know what makes communication successful?
Listening.
Compliance.
Compliance. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what makes
not just-
communication successful. Because
Yeah.
see, and I don't want people to think that this is a male chauvinist kind of statement, because it's not. On average, men are action based.
Mhm.
We ain't gonna sit around and just talk about the same problem over and over and over and over and over and over and over again without really putting something into action. Right? And I'm gonna give you guys an example, ladies, and you all correct me if I'm wrong. How many times have you come to your man with a problem and he tried to give you the answer and you get upset because you didn't want a solution, you just wanted to vent?
Repeat that for me.
How many times have you been in a relationship, you came to your man with a problem, you telling him what happened at your job with a certain individual or some individuals at your job, you going in and he looks at you and be like, baby, this is what you should do. And you get upset because you didn't want him to give you no darn solution. You just wanted him to listen.
Right. So basically, Jimmy's saying you and your work husband got into an argument.
Or you
brought it home.
Or your work wife.
Right.
You know what I mean? But no, what I'm
on the flip,
that is.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jim.
No, I'm just asking. Has that scenario ever happened in either one of you all's lives?
I'm sure.
Okay, let me ask it from a different perspective. If it hadn't happened to you, have you ever heard any of your girlfriends say, he always trying to tell me how to fix the problem?
No.
Actually, no.
No.
You guys are what we call an anomaly.
I mean, I know it happens.
Yeah, when you elaborate a little bit, I know it does happen, but I personally, in answering that, can't say that I've ever come to my man with an issue or a problem or something I was venting about, and he's given me
somebody said no,
and he's giving me his opinion on his thoughts, and I was like, boy, ain't nobody asked you. I was just trying to.
I'm not saying that you say that, but
just the fact that he's a fixer, trying to fix it,
right?
Problem solving.
I don't know. I kind of like a problem solver.
Somebody said
because it takes the burden off of me, kind of, sort of. Even though
here's the deal, and the reason that I brought that up is because that's some of the stuff I see. I'm like, really, so that we ain't that type of friend.
Yeah.
We're not. Like if you come to me, I love you. My wife, she comes to me with a problem and she venting, and I'm like, well, babe, okay, just do this or do that. And I'll never forget the first time she was like, babe, I really didn't come to you for you to give me a solution. I just wanted to vent.
Just wanted to hear.
So the first few years of our marriage, she would get to talking. I'd say, you want me to just listen to you, or you need a response?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do that all the time. The time.
Which one?
Yeah.
And I thought it was me until I was going through this with couples. Like, I'm like, oh, so this is across the board. I thought it was just me, but it's not a just me thing. Even in the barbershop, guys are like, somebody said women leave breadcrumbs trying to communicate the concern. Once it goes unacknowledged for a period of time, we get tired. Yeah. Well,
on that fact.
Oh man, who said that? That was Keisha, let me explain something to you, sweetheart. I often say this. We have to make up our minds. Either we want our spouse to be mind readers or we don't. We can't pick and choose when we want our spouse to read our minds. Right? And let me tell you what I mean by that. If you've been behaving a certain way and your husband goes, this is why you're doing that. You ain't reading my mind. Don't be telling me what I'm thinking. But then on the flip side, you want him to know what you're thinking because you want to feel a certain type of way. We just voice it. Hey, this is bothering me. This
Yeah,
is the situation, and give him the opportunity to answer that. We shouldn't have to figure out Jack, just like you shouldn't have to figure out Jack about us. But honestly, once that person explains it to you, you got to comply. You
Right.
can't find a reason not to adhere to what they're communicating.
It's not just listening, it's complying as well.
Yeah.
You can hear me all day, because people say communication is just not about talking, it's about listening. Yes, but there's a third step to it. I'm
Action.
talking to you, you're listening, but
Mhm.
what have you done about what I said?
Let me
Complying.
let me tell you why compliance is so important. Let me ask you all a question, and now I'll leave it alone. When have you had an argument more than once when the person did what you was complaining about? They
Okay,
Right.
fixed
repeat. Right.
It's not necessary.
it. Once they comply with
It's
you,
not
did you argue about that same thing over and over again?
Mm-mm.
No, I mean it's
If you're
the
crazy,
problem solved. That's the problem is solved. Yeah.
There you go.
The problem is
So-
solved.
so-
So,
if you just like conflict,
Right. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So
If you just
once
like-
the problem has been once there has been compliance, they've done what you've asked, they're doing what you've asked. That's not something you revisit
Mhm.
again, right? So you
Mhm.
have to ask yourself in real time, if I'm still complaining about one thing for X amount of years, guess what that actually means? Ain't nothing changed.
nothing changed. You're not listening. Nothing's changing. Nothing's happening.
hey, but you know what? I want to
Nothing.
hear. I want to hear Cortland's side when it comes from the non-married folk. Like, apply that to the whole communication stuff like that. I mean, I think he was getting ready to say something. Go ahead.
Mhm.
So I think there's two things when it comes to a relationship as to why it mostly just ends, and then I'll get controversial. I think the first one is I've gotten bored. In the famous words of Mark, I just don't want to be here no more. I think the second one is, and this kind of piggybacks off what Keisha was saying, is that I've asked you to change something and you've ignored me, and now I'm just tired of it. So I'm just like, if you're not gonna change, then this ain't gonna work. Why am I here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The controversial
Right.
thing is kind of pushing back off what Corey was saying, as far as like there's always somebody that knows that something is going wrong in the relationship. No, people are delusional. And people are delusional because they're selfish sometimes, because they don't really want to see or hear what the other person is trying to say to them, because they want to be delusional that the relationship is going perfectly the way that it wants, because everything is working for them
There you
and
go.
not for the totality of the group. So as long as it's working for me, I'm fine. So guess what? I'm not going to notice on purpose what it is you feel like is going wrong, because I don't really care. So I'm delusional.
If
So
you're
that's my
not noticing
controversial
on
point.
purpose, you have noticed.
Yeah,
Huh?
and
If you're not noticing on purpose, you have indeed noticed. You're just
Right, but I'm being
choosing
delusional,
to
and
keep
yeah,
on
I'm
going.
being
But you're not
I'm
being
being
delusional.
delusional
You're
in my
being
mind.
intentional.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's
That's
not delusion
delusional.
though,
That's
Cortland.
intentional.
That's
You-
intentional.
That's
That
I
I'm
is-
don't care. That's
intentionally
I'm
That's
selfish.
not going to address what you're talking about. I ain't being delusional. You done already told me the problem exists. I'm experiencing it too, but I'm gonna
Emotional
act like it
blackmail.
ain't a problem. I'm not being delusional. I'm intentionally
Yep.
saying I'm not going to engage. I'm not going to deal with this, because you spoke it. You said it because it's benefiting them,
Right.
and when they have to change, then there's going to be a problem. The problem is that person doesn't want to change.
yeah,
That's what the issue is.
right. And also, what this on Cortland's point, kind of piggybacking off that, you'll definitely find more of the non-verbal communications before a person leaves in a relationship, because there's no real true commitment in some people, right?
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a lot much easier to
Mhm.
kind of skate around things, don't really talk, because there's no true commitment. So you'll definitely find a heck of a lot non-communication in those relationships.
Man, look,
No.
Mark don't even know how deep he is when he just said that.
Oh, I don't even think about it. I go back and look at the replay.
Mark, listen, when you're talking about there is no true commitment in that person,
Right.
you may have been saying there's no true commitment to the relationship,
Correct.
but it's also no true commitment to growth,
To growth.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
personal development.
Right.
That person's not committed to personal development.
Right.
That's their
point.
They're honestly in real time stunting their growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm not going to address this thing about me that is causing problems in my relationship because it's uncomfortable.
Right. So they will be considered runners, running
Yes.
from themselves, running
Exactly.
from themselves.
Runner, she's a track star.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Kevin said your level of engagement is the barometer of commitment. Yes, sir.
Kevin,
That's a good one. That's a good
Yes,
one.
sir.
they come with it.
That sounds like some Martin, Malcolm, Elijah, Abdullah, the Butcher quote.
Somebody said,
great one though.
Somebody said, hence my ex-husband on his third wife still doing the same old ish.
Hey, that right there hit the nerve. Look, right here.
There might be a lot to unpack there.
Right.
I don't know if we can get into that comment, but there might be a lot to unpack there.
Well, actually, you don't even have to unpack it, because if he's still doing the same thing in the next relationship, the problem was really him too.
Well, that's not the part I'm talking about unpacking. I'm talking about why are we keeping track of what the husband is doing with the third wife?
You so stupid.
It's your fault. It's your fault because you ain't let it go.
Oh gosh.
I'm signing off. I'm signing off.
Are we trying to make sure that what he did with you, he did with somebody else?
Hey,
that is funny.
You might have to shoot. You might have to shoot Joy. Come on this thing. I know Joy. She'll come on. You shoot her text. She'll be up on here. She'll defend that.
Like, Joy, I need context, Joy. I need context.
Look, you see that? Look at you see that? The third wife is my friend from high school. Y'all see that?
Wife is her friend from high school.
There's so much to unpack here. We need another show for this. Oh my goodness. Woo. Are y'all still friends?
Oh look, so check this out.
She said friend from high school.
But look, so check this out. And if I recall, and make sure you give me a thumbs up. I remember she came on my actual
she said nope.
She came
the
on
third
my
wife is my friend from high school.
I did an interview.
That's what we were saying.
I did an
interview.
interview
Who the heck did I marry? Part 2.
Okay, so that her third wife was a friend, and I believe she came on my show, and she told me about they were friends, and then all of a sudden she went with her ex, so they were connected. You know what I mean? Like it was all kinds of lines drawn on that story right there.
Yeah, well, it's obvious whose fault it was in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious whose fault. Joy, you dodged the bullet, babe. You dodged the bullet. All right. So I was having a conversation earlier with a young lady that frequents our lives. She's been a friend for a good minute. But she made a point. She made a really good point today that I want to kind of bring in this. And we've touched on this before. A lot of times when we're in relationships, we act a certain way. Of course, it stems from what we've seen, what we've learned, what we've been told. And she made a valid point of saying that sometimes people look at other relationships and they listen to other people and they take on things that they really don't even know what they're taking on, but it looked like what works. It looked like what should work. It looked like what would help and could help. I don't know, how we kind of want to comment on that, because we talking about it's your fault. There was a breakup. So what if this person in this scenario, whether it's the man or a woman?
Well, I'll say that in that case, I want to definitely touch that before we do the scenario. I'll say that in cases like that, when people are at their lower state, they're looking to hang on to the twig of hope, right? A twig, right? Any little thing that they can hold on to, they'll take and they'll actually become it, and it may not even be them. And it may not even be them, but that twig of hope, anything, give me something to help me get out of this space, and whatever it is, good, bad, or indifferent at the time, I may use it, and it may be a self-destructive thing. I'm not saying do it, but it may not fit who you are as a person.
Right.
Yeah, and that's
Right.
also what I like to call the comparative nature. So basically, because Jack and Judy's relationship is going like this, and maybe we're having a little bit of a rock in our relationship, somebody's constantly out, well, Jack let Judy do such and such. Well, Judy don't stand for when Jack do this. Okay, that ain't our relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you're trying to compare somebody else's relationship and bring that into your relationship, now you can cause problems because you might as well get with Jack then, or you might as well get with Judy then. You know, so
Well, no, I agree.
comparative nature always gets you in trouble.
Yeah, I agree with you. However, remember we talked about this in a previous episode. The difference between a preference and a principle, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Explain. Explain. I want to hear that.
Preference wise, just because Jack preferred a certain thing or Judy preferred a certain thing doesn't necessarily mean that would work in our relationship, right?
Okay.
But if Jack and Judy had some principles that they lived by. See, principles, and here's the difference between a principle and a preference. And I give a brief little synopsis of what that means. A preference only benefits a person or a small group of people. A principle will benefit anyone who adheres to it.
Anyone, right?
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Let me give you an example. The principle of gravity. Right? Anyone who chooses to go to the top of the Empire State Building and decides not to jump off of it will live.
Right.
But a person who prefers to believe that he or she can fly and jumps off of the Empire State Building is going to die.
You'll find out.
They just don't want to be here.
You understand what I'm saying? So you can prefer to jump off that building if you want to. It's just not going to end well. That's a preference.
Right.
But a principle says that gravity is real.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the person that adheres to that principle, they going to benefit from it.
You're fine. Right.
So there are some things in real life, like for instance, cheating. Cheating is a principle. Not cheating is a principle. That's a principle, right? And usually you're not going to have arguments about cheating if you're not doing something that would give a person an indication that you're cheating, or you don't have a history of cheating. It's just not going to become a problem in your situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are some people that prefer to have multiple significant others. And that type person is always having relationship problems.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
See? You keep violating principles. Guys, listen, I tell people this. I say, for those of you who don't believe in God, there is universal law. Keep violating universal law and see what happens.
Right.
You just gonna pay for it.
Right. Which means it's something bigger than you, basically.
Hey, there you go.
It's bigger
and
than
that's
you.
what a principle is. A principle is bigger than you, me, my emotions, how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Violate a principle and see what happens. You are going to get consequences, and they are going to be severe.
Yeah, I think what another dangerous thing is, and it's kind of on the comparative situation, is when you have not cleaned or cleared your relationship plate or palette. You can also call it emotional if you want to. And what I mean by that is if you are going into another relationship, but you don't necessarily want your ex, but there were some things about your ex you wish your new person did.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you haven't cleaned or cleared your relationship palette or your emotional palette. So now you're taking that comparative nature into the relationship and holding this person to a standard that they may not even be able to reach, or because that's just not who they are. So now you're 3 years in and you're like, well, dang, I'm not getting from this person what I wanted to get from this person, which Joe gave me, or Pam gave me. And so I think I'm done with the relationship. Well, you should have never been in a relationship in the first place because you never got over your ex. or you just never cleared your relationship or emotional palate to be able to move on to a new relationship. You can call it soul ties if you want to move on to another relationship to even, you know what I mean? So I think in that case, you wasn't ready. So that's your fault.
So cleaning that relationship palate, and as Joy says, relationship detox. I like that. Both of those. I will be using those. Right. And if you don't have it copywritten, don't be calling me when you hear me say it on social media. I will do my best to give you all credit for that. I'll say in the words of Joy, y'all need some relationship
detox.
There we go.
Yeah, it's almost like the other saying is get under to get over. Get under somebody to get over your current situation.
Yeah, and that's called foolery.
Foolery, right?
That's what it is.
Thinking that's gonna wash your sins away.
Ain't gonna do nothing. Ain't gonna do nothing but give you a quicker soul tie.
Right. That's all it do.
So
I was about to say Antiphius.
We have a Cortland Jr. in the house.
Yes, we do. Antiphius.
No, we don't. No, we don't, because I wouldn't have said that.
It's like I draw a line.
The cheek. Sometimes you miss out on great relationships.
That is original.
You just don't want to be there.
Hey, indirectly, it's a smidgen of. Hold on, say when you say committed, what? I mean, I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I'm not. Antithesis. Don't do it.
Yeah. Come on, sir.
Listen, that thing called karma, she's a mother. You hear me? Two wrongs do not make a what?
All right.
Man, let me tell you something. You don't want that karma.
So he said
it's coming back.
He said, why stay committed to one? Which leads me to believe that Mr. Antiphius?
Yes.
Antiphius, and correct me if I'm wrong, sir. But does the poly lifestyle does that interest you in any kind of way based on what you're saying?
You went straight to the
No,
that may be, you know what, I'm gonna say this. Okay, so let's take it a step further. I guess you can I guess you can say why stay committed to one, meaning that maybe he's saying why must we commit to one? Why don't have? Well, it don't have to mean poly.
Well, we don't have to even assume what he means because he just told us.
Right.
Best way of life.
Yeah.
What's somebody that you guys are reading that he's saying he likes the poly life? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean,
the question was asked, or do you believe in the
poly
even
if he's not. That was the question.
Yeah,
but
all right, sir.
Multiple friends.
He trolling, man.
Yeah.
Hey, if you and your partner agree to that, then it's fine.
But here's the deal I've learned with that lifestyle.
Yes, please, John.
I challenge anybody on this one. Usually in the poly lifestyle, there's only one person that can have multiples.
Well, let's say it. Okay, so what? How's it go? How's it go? Because I've known people. I know someone personally, honestly, that there's on both sides. Like there's him, then there's her, and there's her, and then she has somebody. She can have somebody.
So this is the poly lifestyle. Or are you talking about swingers?
So
that sounds like some swingers.
That sounds like a relationship.
No, it's there's a different term. It's not just swingers. And
talking about polyamorous.
Polyamorous.
Yeah, I know. But usually in the poly lifestyle, everybody don't have multiples.
Right. That's what
I'm saying.
It's just one man and his
and his concubine.
Right.
That's
well, there's a woman that's real popular, Passion Jones.
But this person
Passion Jones has 2 husbands. She's a YouTube personality, and it was like real big, like maybe last year or something like that. And she was like, because a lot of black folks are wanting to get into the polyamorous lifestyle, and she has 2 husbands. So I think it's really the person that makes the decision that says, "Hey, I want to have 2 of the other." So I think it could be either man or woman that makes that decision. But I agree with you in the swing lifestyle, which is very similar. You can have, if you and your partner say, hey, I want to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend outside of our exclusive relationship, then if y'all make agreement on that, you can. Now, what I have seen happen is somebody always slip up and want to go out and step outside of the permission realm and do their own thing. You know what I'm saying? And then 3 years later, you be like, oh, y'all still together? No, we broke up. Like, oh, wait, what? What happened? How you have that permission and you still go out and cheat?
Cortland, you're talking about Cortland. You're talking about polygamy. Haven't you talking about polygamy? That's different from polygamy.
Mark, you know,
the lion.
That's a whole bunch of lying and moving parts.
Let me say this. Let me say this. This kind of ties into another part of the conversation I was having today, because I know her by Star, but y'all seeing Elisa. Mm-hmm. This goes to another point that we were talking about.
What?
There are differences. Her name is Star. I call her Star. That's the name I know her by.
Never mind.
Anyway, Cortland. This goes to the point of saying here. Now I have to say, because this is what I believe. This is what I represent.
Right.
I believe in the God of heaven.
Okay.
That is my belief.
Okay.
My principles line up with that. But there are people here, a part of this family, a part of this platform, that have different beliefs. Mm-hmm. And I always speak of of respecting one another. Respecting one another. So when we're talking about this lifestyle of having more than one wife, more than one husband, or whatever, our beliefs are our beliefs. Our principles are our principles, right? But let's talk about, we're talking about breaking up. Someone did not know. Someone had a problem. Someone.
Okay, y'all know that's funny. Y'all know that's funny. Polygamy. That is hilarious.
I'm sorry.
Even with our different beliefs, right? We're talking about someone having a problem. We're talking about the emotions and someone having an issue and a problem, and they're either not expressing that or they're expressing that. That's a t-shirt. It is. They're expressing that and the other one is not listening. So with respect to other beliefs, if that's what you believe and that's what you do, that's what you do.
Right.
That's what you do. But
Donna,
yes.
Yeah, we got to go deeper on this one.
let me say this. I think it still applies regardless of how you choose to move in your relationship.
Correct.
Because in any relationship, I can come in at any moment and be like, you know what? This ain't really working out.
And that is where I was going. You're right. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
Yeah. So basically, it don't matter what your relationship is. It don't matter, you know what I'm saying? If you got concubine after concubine after concubine, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you walk into the relationship, what is it that person is doing, has done, or not doing to make you say, you know what, this is not working out for me, right? So at the end of the day, I think the thing that we broke down in the beginning is communication. We are not talking to each other to the fact that it even got to this point, right? If we, so the reason that I said delusion, or as you guys corrected me, being somebody just not wanting to pay attention to their partner, is because, like, if you guys are if one person is trying to communicate, the other person is just like, whatever, I think it's fine, I think the relationship is good, maybe y'all just wasn't a good fit in the beginning. Maybe somebody made concessions to say, I just want to be in a relationship. I just need to be in a relationship because I'm tired of being single. And then you got this relationship.
Or maybe they're selfish.
Or Cortland, they could have very well been on the same page at first. But as the relationship evolved and grew, one person realized, you know what? yeah, this really ain't for me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, let me say something. I see. I'm gonna address Kevin. He says polygamy is not real. It's just a bunch of side pieces. Saying right, according to the way that Western civilization runs it, absolutely.
Right.
But we also have to acknowledge on the other side of the world, and not just the other side of the world, it has been proven through history, according to our own culture. You can look it up, that our dynasties were built upon that, right? And there was a level of respect. Well, there's a level of respect that came along with that, and the respect more so, according to what I've read, that the women at the time were actually conducting and saying, the husband would come to the wife and say, "Hey, I am da da da." The wife would then at that time introduce the new woman into the fold, but only for the purpose of nation building. Dynasties
there we go.
Right. Dynasties were built that way.
We have to be historically correct.
Right.
It was not for what it is now.
Absolutely.
It was exactly what he said. It was for building dynasties. And let me explain to you why the dynasties were being built. The dynasties were being built for protection and for longevity. Right? So my clan gonna get with your clan.
Right.
And the only way that these two clans can be bonded is I'm gonna let you marry my daughter. So now we're bonded through marriage. Right? I'm gonna give you, and so it wasn't like this dude just running around just saying, "Ooh, I like you, and I like you." No, that's not how it went down.
Right.
But see, and nor was it about sex.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The genesis of it was not about sex. It was for clans to come together as a unit and say, okay, now we can be a stronghold against these enemies over here that may be trying to secure us. I mean, they're trying to overtake us. That's what it was. That was its original design, right? And now let's go with biblical history, right? I think a lot of times we talk about God's permissive will, what he allowed to happen versus what he said should happen.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes, because people don't understand that the Bible is a collection of allegories, which are stories, and principles. God used stories and examples of what people did to prove his biblical principles. Like people say, well, rape was in the Bible. That didn't mean God said go rape somebody. That was in the Bible. Yeah, he's giving you a story that these things happen, right? He's not saying it's okay to do it just because you saw the story in the Bible, right? You saw sacrifice in the Bible, but God was like, don't be sacrificing your kids. I mean, he didn't promote those things. He didn't give, so we got to really, really understand, even in those dynasties that Mark brought up, that was man's idea of thinking how he could secure his future. But here's what we also learned through historical proof: it didn't work.
It did not work.
I'm gonna give you pushback on that one. I gotta give you pushback on that one, brother.
Where? What worked?
The only pushback is that I want to say this in comparison to the way that it was, as far as a class of people of color, in comparison to where we are. Because of that, were we stronger then than we are now? As a group?
It had nothing to do with that.
I'm saying for me is that I'm okay. So my belief is more so down the middle. I respect both sides, but I also have to acknowledge where we were as a people when it was done correctly. So I can't really say that was wrong because
I'm not saying that it's wrong.
Right.
I'm just saying, all I'm saying was that did not secure what we thought it would secure.
We had our dynasties that secured our dynasties during that time.
So
when monogamy was introduced, the dynasties fell.
So Mark, here, no, that's incorrect. That's not historically correct.
Well, we'll have to talk about that offline.
So think about this: there were dynasties that did not operate in polygamy. No dynasty lasts forever.
Correct.
And there is no way you gonna tie the success of a dynasty to intermarriages or external marriages, because all dynasties fail at some point.
Absolutely.
Why? Because another group of people decided, you know, they got something we want. It's more of us than it is them. Let's go take it. That's just how it is. I mean, men implemented. Men and women are always implementing ideas to try to secure something, whether they're successful or not. Only time will tell, right? And one of the things that you will know, if you want to know something that has longevity, it does not die.
Well, marriages don't live that long now, right? According to the
that's
numbers.
because that's not because
they're dying at a higher rate, though. Will we agree?
No, that's not because marriage is not a good thing. It's because people go into marriages. That's because people go into marriage with the wrong ideas and concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's how we got Wakanda, y'all.
So guess what? So that's what that could have happened then too, as well, right?
I agree with you.
Right. Okay.
I agree with you.
Right.
Hey,
okay.
Look,
that's great dialogue, because I think sometimes we have to, as well as relationship, understand the history and the backstory. I think it ties into this all. So that was for me, that was definitely a great conversation.
Ooh, man. Look at what Alicia said. Yes,
free
sir.
Will was and is dangerous in the wrong hands.
Guys, let me tell y'all something. This right here, free will, I don't care. And this is something in the Christian community. I have made this argument. The greatest gift God ever gave mankind or humanity was free will.
Free will.
Some will argue it was Jesus Christ dying on the cross. No, it was not Jesus Christ dying on the cross, because you won't even value Jesus Christ dying on the cross if it wasn't for free will. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? Free will comes with so much responsibility that very few of us as human beings respect it to the level we should. See, we think free will means we can just do what we want to do and it ain't gonna be no consequences.
That's called selfishness.
No, but my point is, when you are a person thinking on a higher level of thinking, a higher level of consciousness, you will understand how intertwined we are as human beings.
Yeah.
And it will compel you not to be as selfish and self-centered and greedy. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that something I do will impact somebody else. Decisions I make will and can impact other people.
So that definitely comes back around to our whole point, our whole topic, our whole scenario. You're not communicating. You didn't tell this person that what they were doing was a problem for you. And if you did tell this person it was a problem for you, they did not respond. They did not make a change or a difference, because we got to keep coming back to the point. Do you really want to be there? Like, do you really, really want to be there? If something hurts us, something bothers us, we're going to go to the doctor. We're going to get medication. We're going to exercise. We're going to do all those things that they say learn that helps us to get better and be healthier and not hurt. Right? That's what we're going to do. But we're in these relationships and we choose to be here. We start out, listen, if you started out great, you can maintain being great.
That's right.
But you have to learn to do that. And I'm preaching to the choir on this one. I'm speaking to myself.
I got pushback on that.
Oh, we've all been in relationships.
We knew that.
I can speak to the relationships that I've been in. Some of it is my fault. Some of it is their fault.
Right.
But if it was great, and I think I know where Cortland's going to go, but I'm going to let him take it. If it was great, truly, and that's the place you're supposed to be, then you're going to make sure it remains and stays great. Free will, choices. Go ahead, Cortland. What's your pushback?
So, on the free will thing, free will does get us in trouble, especially in relationships, because what happens is we don't make guidelines or adhere to the principles of what our relationship is supposed to be. My pushback is that you said that if relationship starts great, then it can continue to be great, unless one of the parties had ulterior motives. one of the parties had an ulterior motive.
And I knew that's where you were going.
Yeah, they were not necessarily being truthful from the beginning, right?
It was just built on a lie.
Right, like this whole situation, this thing that's going crazy on TikTok right now with this young lady who the heck did I marry situation. That situation started great, but it was built.
And the audience for those who didn't watch it.
In 2 seconds, it was built on a lie. It was built on a non-truthful situation. It was built on
deceit,
ulterior deception, right?
Yep.
So there was no way that she was going to be able to make that great. A quick recap is this young lady fell in love with, for lack of a better words, a pathological liar. When you listen to the story, I think the brother was really mentally ill. A pathological liar who took her on a roller coaster of more than emotions. I don't even know if I can break it down in this small time that I have right now. But and she wasted 2 years of her life before she actually was able to see the smoke clear from her eyes. Because basically, this brother was fulfilling a fantasy for this woman so she was not able to see what was going on until she started waking up. You know what I'm saying? From the fantasy that she was in and realizing that things was not on the level that they were supposed to be. But basically, he started the relationship with lies, deceptions, and being untrue. So there was no way that she could ever correct this relationship, or he could ever correct this relationship to make it great, even though it appeared to be that way in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to give you pushback.
Okay.
She said, if you start great, you can be great the whole way.
Okay.
If you're starting great and no one's being deceptive and you're being your corny selves and you're happy with each other and you're setting the tone and the principles and everything are there, you're starting off great, you can continue on that trajectory. I thought we established before that sometimes relationships they're a little boring because there's no drama, and that's great. That is great.
Corey,
I probably said it wrong though.
Healthy relationships
I got double pushback for you, Corey.
Healthy relationships are boring because there is no drama.
Healthy, right?
You got to question yourself, why are you so easily bored?
Yeah. You know what? I want that free will part. Free will comes with responsibility. I would just say, simply put, the responsibility is to be honest.
There you go.
Use that free will to be honest. If you're honest, then guess what? Then you have the will to do what you feel like you need to do. Just be honest about it, you know?
Yep.
Corey, let me ask you a question because I got double pushback for you. Let me ask you a question.
Not double.
Because you're saying that DJ said, and that's Donna, if y'all don't know who DJ is, but you're saying that DJ said that if you start great, then you can continue to be great. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Okay. So my pushback was that you can start great, but if it starts in deception that you don't know about, then you can't make it great. That's what I'm saying, right? So my question is, if the person starts great and they're giving you this illusion that this is a great relationship and everything is about them is on the level, and you can't see that until they take that mask off, which might be 6 months, a year, 2 years down the line, what do you do? How can you make that great?
Right. So, and then that's not 100% of anything, right? It's not 100% of anything. So there are going to be times where you're not great. I guess the responsibility is to try to get back on track.
So let me real quick. Of course, I'm talking about a healthy situation.
Absolutely. Right. That's why I said she's right.
I'm talking about
but of course, y'all know Cortland gonna take it to the extreme all the time. You know,
right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we all have been
situation. I'm talking about two people. I'm talking about two people that come in for the right reasons.
Right.
And I get it, Cortland. That can happen.
Yep.
I mean,
right.
I got a T-shirt. I could write a book on that.
Right.
Where's your TikTok? Where's your TikTok?
But no. Look, I took mine to somebody's couch into Jesus. I'm good. Yeah, I ain't gotta get all of it.
There you go. But no, Donna, you're right. I think we can understand that both cases can be true at the same time. Yes, there are scenarios where people go in deceiving people, lying, being disingenuous. But what she was talking about were the people who went into the relationship healthy or somewhat healthy. They came into the relationship with the same goals and ideals as related to the relationship. So she's saying if it started good, it can end good, right? Now, I'm gonna just tell you guys this from during their 20 years of doing this. One of the things we have to realize is in this life, we all evolve.
Right.
To some degree. Some evolve at a higher level than others.
Right.
Some evolve at a faster level than others. But on some level, we're all somewhat evolving, right? Now, we have to look at, there are so many different aspects that we could look at, but even in the evolution of us individually, which will impact the relationship, like Donna said, we can continue to be great if we both acknowledge and respect whatever level of evolution we're making within the relationship. Sometimes people get to the point where they feel they've outgrown their significant other, right? And it's kind of like, no, you haven't outgrown that person. The deal is you've grown and they appear, or you may be more I'm so thrown off because of Corey. I am going to get you. But yeah,
they're in the back of the class tripping, y'all.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Spitballs and crap. Yeah, but yeah.
Cortland picked up the tissue though.
One person may be growing on a higher level. It doesn't mean that you've outgrown them. It just simply means that you guys have a different perspective of where you want your particular life to go. Because I've seen where one person can be, and I'm not saying that this person is low, but when in society, when you say janitor and then you say doctor,
right,
society see that as, down here and up there, right?
Right.
And they have a great relationship because although the person that's a doctor, they're not looking down on the person that's a janitor. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's all about your mentality, because sometimes when we evolve in life and we climb the corporate ladder, we tend to think of ourselves higher than we should. Right? We tend to elevate ourselves in our own heads, and then that's when we start looking down on people and maybe treating our spouse with a little less respect than they deserve. And then things can go awry. But ultimately, if you two say, hey, I'm going to respect and acknowledge and respect the evolution that we're making. And because some people are satisfied with where they are.
Right.
Some people genuinely are. They are content where they are. And just because you're ambitious doesn't mean that they're less than. It just means that they don't, some people are never satisfied. 1 degree is not a good.
And that's not a bad thing. That's not necessarily bad.
It only becomes bad when your expectation that everybody should feel
everybody
the way you
should do it. That balance has to be right. Yeah.
There you go.
He's a homebody and she's a go. And there's a way to balance that.
Let me ask a question. On the evolving thing, right? So, and I think we kind of brought this up a little bit last week, but let's say that, and this is still in the narrative, if we started great, then we can end great. And there's evolution in there. What if the couples, what if they evolve apart? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if, like, as we grow, I'm evolving in one direction and you're evolving in another direction that is like two mules pulling in opposite directions. How do we correct that and bring that back to greatness when we want to go separate ways?
Well, that again, I think we would initially have to start with, how did we start going in separate directions? Because evolution is going in the same direction. It may not be at the same rate.
Evolution for the relationship, or evolution per person?
I'm talking about individually, right?
I don't think that's going in the same direction. I think you have your own individual evolution. right?
No. Listen, what I'm saying. Evolution means you're both doing this. However, you may be, and I understand what you're saying. So you're saying a person changes, right? And what I've experienced is we started this relationship off with the same belief system.
Yeah, you know how they say we just grew apart.
Right. And I'm gonna give you an example of what that looked like in real time. Say, for instance, when we first met, we both thought having being in a committed relationship with just the two of us was a good thing. 10 years into the relationship, all of a sudden now you want to have multiple partners and you want me to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that would be going in the opposite direction, right?
Yeah.
So that goes back to what I said before. If all parties are operating off of principle, it's fixable.
Right.
But if you got one person operating off of preferences and another person trying to operate off principle, yes, that's when it becomes a little bit harder to navigate.
Okay.
Keisha said, I've seen a marriage end when one person continued to want to grow, but the other person was content. What's wrong with that contentment? What's wrong with that contentment? One person is growing and the other person is content with where they are. What is wrong with that contentment?
And what is growth in that scenario?
Right.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. What is growth? What was the growth?
Yeah. Sometimes we can try to force somebody. If you've been living a certain way for X amount of years and your partner just discovered something new yesterday and all of a sudden they want to start trying skydiving, you know what I'm saying? And skydiving, I'm just using these as examples. And skydiving is not your thing, then you can't get upset if they want to stay on the ground and watch you jump out of a plane.
Right.
I don't think. Right.
Well, so what about, let's add it and say maybe one in a couple situation, one wants to be an entrepreneur and one wants to stay on his job. That may be considered not growing in that perspective.
Right.
Okay.
You know, that's another area that most people I see from entrepreneurs saying, I can't only date anything other than entrepreneurs,
right?
Because someone that works, they're going to be content in getting the same check. I want a different check. So since some people's eyes, they consider it as being someone being content or not growing. Yeah. That's also
you have to think of all aspects of that.
Right.
All aspects of that.
Okay, tell me more. What do you mean?
This is what I mean. You're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur, right? I'm forever building, trying to grow, build.
Mm-hmm.
If the person that I'm with is content with his 9 to 5, he's content with what he's doing. He has no plans in trying to start a business or do this and do that. As long as he is maintaining where we are, and he in the back as my cheerleader, supporting, stay on your job, brother.
Yeah, I understand that, but hear me out. Yes, absolutely, I agree.
Real quick, go ahead.
I agree. Go ahead, I'm just gonna say this. I agree, but then there's another side where when some people want to become entrepreneurs and their significant other wants to stay in that space, they would consider that them not wanting to grow.
So do they
I'm just saying from that side.
Do they not want the entrepreneur
or vice versa?
Okay. Hear me out, y'all. So we talk about evolution, right? Some people want they may start off working a 9 to 5, right? And so then they say maybe 5 years later, they say, you know what? I'm tired of working on my job. I'm tired of us just going to work and coming home every day, right? So then one says, well, here's what I'm going to do to move the needle more. I want to do this. And in some people's mind, right? Because when you're an entrepreneur, the person that stays home doesn't understand that the person that's trying to eat what they kill, it may cause friction. So the other person may say, well, you just trying to be content. You're not growing more. And sometimes that can be a friction.
No, we're agreeing with you, Mark. We know that
right.
happens.
That's all. I just wanted to just draw.
No.
I just wanted to say the
no.
Yeah,
We
right,
clearly understand that. But what we're saying is that's why I said we have to make sure that we understand what evolution looks like. Everybody doesn't evolve the same way. For instance, and let me just tell you a little secret. I have rarely seen two diehard entrepreneurs married make it.
Yeah.
Say that one more time.
I have rarely seen two diehard entrepreneurs make it. I ain't saying it ain't happened. I'm talking about on a collective level. Somebody got to get something stable.
Yeah.
I think I see it differently.
No, I'm not.
I'm telling you, because I was going there. I was going to go there, Jimmy. I was going to go second part of that. I was going to go there because, and I get the point of what he's saying. Because if we both grinding, if we're both building, if we're both, there's not going to be much time for this relationship. There's not.
But you have to put a time limit on the grind, though. You're not going to grind for 20 years.
Well, no, some people do, though.
You're going to grind for a minute.
I
understand that, but there has to be a plan, is my point. Right?
I think we're missing
if we're going to grind together, we're going to say, this is our goal, this is our objective, right? We're going to grind for 3 years. Of course, if you grind for 20, 30 years, you're not going to, you're going to not have time, of course. But what I'm saying is there may be a time where you may have to take out and grind for a few years, and it's okay.
I think we're not arguing with you, Mark.
Yeah, we missing context. No, we're not. I'm just saying that I'm just saying it's so that this is broad, right? It's not about an argument. It's so broad. We just have to touch every part.
But let's deal with one part at a time, though. Because when one part is being dealt with, then another scenario come up there that'll kind of make it seem like the other part isn't valid. Right. What I'm saying is, all of them are true at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It is true that even an entrepreneur that's married to a person who wants to be in a stable 9-to-5, if that entrepreneur isn't, because everybody that's an entrepreneur is not necessarily a business-minded person.
Right.
So most entrepreneurs fail due to research. Most entrepreneurs are failing at an alarming rate, not because they don't have talent and they're not good at whatever craft that they, or gift that they have. Most of them fail because they're not good at business, right? And so when you're not good at business, now the financial strain is normally solely on the back of one person. And then this person with that entrepreneurial mindset don't want to get no 9-to-5 because he or she is still hell-bent on being their own boss, but they don't know how to be a boss. They know how to do what they do well, but they don't know how to conduct business. They don't know that in being a business owner, you got to pay taxes. They don't know that you need to set aside some insurance or some a benefit package. They spending the 90% of the money they make and don't know that the business is supposed to make more money than they pay themselves. Most entrepreneurs don't get that, and so that can cause a strain on the relationship. Even though
I think
all of those things are true.
Yeah, I think there's some context that we're missing to where before it even gets that deep. I think the context is because, I've heard on some podcasts where there's some women that say they can't date a man that works a 9-to-5. And 90% of the reasoning is because they say when they want to get up and go, what?
Good point. I'm saying good point.
Good
point. One can be the anchor.
When they want to get up and go, they want to be able to get up and go. And they feel like that man who's working at 9-to-5 has to ask somebody permission. So the context is, why am I upset that you don't want to go on this growth journey of being an entrepreneur? Is it selfish reasons? Right?
Absolutely.
Or is it another situation could be sometimes entrepreneurs, we forget to make time for the people in our lives because we're trying so hard to make our business work and not fail. Like very few people can have that balance between work life and home life. You know what I'm saying? You usually got people that are putting 80% in the work life and 20% in the home life. And now your significant other is feeling left out and on the side because they're not getting the same amount of attention that they were getting. So it's like, well, if you was an entrepreneur, then you could give me the same. We could have that same attention back. And it's like, no, if y'all are entrepreneurs going in two different career fields, that's gonna be hard. Like if y'all are entrepreneurs and y'all both work, let's just use real estate. Y'all both work in real estate and y'all are entrepreneurs and y'all working in the same field and y'all have the part of the business together, then it's like, yeah, y'all are seeing each other every day. Y'all are not missing the beat. But a lot of times entrepreneurs, we get caught up in our business so much that we forget about what we have at home, or we just go selfish.
But not
Good
that's not
point.
relegated to just entrepreneurship. That's relegated in even in the corporate world. Whenever you value your status or your financial situation over your relationship, it will cause conflict.
Right.
You can
But
make
society
all the
teaches us that.
excuses you want. You can say, I'm doing it for my family, and you're lying. You're not doing it for your primary reason is not for your family. Your primary reason is because it is something personal. It is something you're seeking. Because here's how we know that they're lying. Because your family keeps saying, we need you at home, and you refuse to be at home. You use them as the scapegoat to fulfill whatever your personal desires are or your personal goals are, which are normally deep-seated in some past insecurities or some past trauma. Because I know people right now who work tirelessly for one reason and one reason only, because they grew up poor and they don't want to live poor.
Yep.
And it
They don't
got
want to be in
nothing
that
to do with their family.
The flip side of that, if you sacrifice your dreams for a relationship, you will have animosity later.
There you go.
Which means
That's it.
Right.
But that goes back down to what Mark said. There must be a plan, a set plan for the grind, right? Listen, babe,
right.
I want to start this business. If you give me 3 years or however many years to get this up and running, if it doesn't work in this time frame, baby, I'll go do this.
Mm-hmm.
And that person is a man or a woman of his word or their word.
Mm-hmm.
That person can sacrifice for that time frame, right? Because guys, trust me, entrepreneurship is the hardest thing on the planet because you never know where that next paycheck coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I like that though.
Yeah, I mean, some people do. Some people do, right?
I thrive off
Some
that.
people do.
Even having 100% commission jobs, right? I never had a salary job. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what that looks like, right? So I bet on myself, right? Because I bet on myself, I know my abilities. I understand that anything that I say, I can actually make it happen. I don't even concern myself.
And I was gonna say that you're gonna push to make sure it works.
The money, I'm a magnet. That's how I feel. I'm a magnet.
Well, think about this though. Think about this. I believe, and you all correct me if I'm wrong, it's 10 times easier to throw it all in when you are single than it is to have that same mentality when you're in a relationship. And I'm gonna go back to something Cortland said, Cortland, because I saw that podcast that you was talking about, and I'm gonna go and discredit that particular example. All them heifers.
I discredited it too, but
all them heifers was broke and didn't have no job. They was just gold diggers, so they was trying to date men with money. So that's why they could say that, because they never paid for nowhere they went because they couldn't, because they don't have no job. Or if they did have a job, they were only fangirls. So I know the exact podcast you're talking about.
Wait a minute, only fangirls got money.
But here's the deal. But the problem is, I think with this scenario that we're talking about, is just this. Like a lot of the comments are saying, it all comes down to communication. The relationship is doomed if you don't talk things out properly, regardless of the situation. And because we're evolving, things are changing. So sometimes we may have to revisit the plan, right? Because guys, listen, life is real, and what's going on from day to day gonna tell you if you're on the right track or not. Mm-hmm. It's gonna tell you.
Yeah.
And if it tells you what's going, go ahead.
Ultimately, you know what, ladies first. My bad. Go ahead.
You said, say that last statement again, please.
I said, life is, life goes on. Whatever you do on a regular basis, life is going to tell you if it's going to work or not.
Absolutely.
Life is going every if every bit. Okay, let me tell y'all something. And Mark and I'm sure Cortland know this too. Man, y'all know how many conversations we'd heard in the barbershop. Y'all know at least 5 or 6 dudes in the barbershop that every 3 months they got a different gig they doing. I'm like, you're not a businessman. You are a hustler. There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
And I think black people are the only group of people who don't know the difference. Collectively. Most of us know how to hustle, but very few of us know how to be business owners. There's a difference.
Yep.
And let me explain to you real quick what a hustler is. That is a person that can do a whole bunch of things, and they do a whole bunch of things often. They are never set and firm on nothing.
Yep.
Stay with a job. Pay them $3 an hour.
But for this quarter of the year, they selling t-shirts. For this quarter of the year, they got a daycare. This quarter of the year, and none of them businesses last long. None of those things last long because they were not business people.
Popcorn.
Jack of all trades, right?
Wow.
But listen, and they never really mastered anything, you know. So, you know,
cigars.
Keisha said,
"Oh man, y'all killing me."
I just got it. I really just got it. I'm back.
So I got a question.
Oh, hold on. I wanted to say something.
Corey wanted to say something.
But what you said about you'll know every day based on what you've done, I'm gonna have to change my opinion. The first time I said it's both people. I think it's the person who's not saying anything. The person who's doing the breaking up is the person that's tired of it. The person that's their life is life, and every day they're just coasting along. We already established that they're selfish. Is their fault. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, that was literally my question, so I should have went first, Corey. My question is, so at the end of the day, how do we determine who is at fault? Is it the person who is saying something, or is it the person who is being told, hey, this ain't working out? Like, how do we determine whose fault that is?
We would have to know all the conditions of that particular relationship.
It's so much.
True, you're right.
We would have to know all of the conditions of that particular relationship. That's how we would be able to determine who's really at fault.
We have to create our own scenarios really to try to figure it out. Really,
and then when you create the scenario, Cortland can't run off track and just make it something that the scenario wasn't even talking about. But you know, I'm just saying.
But we do know. We do know.
I'm trying to provoke thought.
We do know, regardless of the scenario, the situation, the big point here, communication.
And compliance. That's it. And compliance.
And compliance.
Yes.
Correct.
Because I ain't gonna keep
and compliance.
Listen,
I ain't gonna keep telling you. I ain't gonna keep telling you.
I think compliance is definitely
DJ,
the foundation.
I'm 54 and I'll be 55 in August. I swear to God, I ain't gonna say it more than twice.
Woo!
That's it.
Well, that was kind of funny when he said DJ. I actually looked up at you.
Oh.
Nobody but family called me DJ. That threw me for a minute.
Yeah,
not that you're not family, Jimmy. It just
I'm not gonna say it more than twice.
Yeah,
because I am very intentional about how I communicate.
Yeah.
Just like I'm super intentional about how I listen.
Yeah. Our tolerance level is very, very little.
Mark, you know bro. Look, I'm not gonna keep telling you.
We gotta put this one up because Kevin got to do it every week. Robes and robes.
Kevin,
everybody thinking about you, sir. Corey, we the only ones.
Right. Look. Keisha get it.
Keisha, my girl. Keisha get it. Oh.
Alicia gets it.
Look at
Mark, we lost.
They
like, I don't know what they talking about.
I'll let them have that. I let the women. That's some women stuff right there. I got nothing to do with that.
Kevin.
Meaning that we're not gonna. Yes, it is. Because we're not gonna comment on what a man said about robes and roses. We're gonna leave it alone.
I'm trying to see how many more women finna pop up and be like, whoop, whoop,
right.
Whoop,
We went to the women. That's y'all thing.
Okay.
Shit, I wish I would comment on something like that.
I have no idea what
the
it's
rest of
talking
the
about.
podcast is just gonna be
I know.
women with eyeballs in the chat stream.
Let me help y'all out.
They get it. No, they get it. No, they get it.
Y'all out real quick.
We get it.
Let me help y'all out real quick.
Okay.
I did a live one time on it was pretty much I want to say the title wasn't The Pleasure Principle, because that's something that's coming up that we're going to do, but it involved pleasing your partner, learning your partner, being able to please your partner. And there was a post on the page at one time where the rose, the clitoral vibrator, was real popular. Popular. Everybody was getting it. And Mr. Kevin had a problem with the rose. Kevin had a problem with the rose. But more detailed into the live, I think Kevin had a change of heart about the rose.
And then again, even with that explanation, we still don't have anything to say about another man saying rose and roses. Okay.
But
still don't have a comment after that.
Kevin always slides it in some kind of way. So so he always throws it in some kind of way. We get it, Kevin.
But yeah, on a serious note, though, when we're talking about whose fault is it in any scenario we come up with, understanding all of the details and how both people moved in that scenario, usually it is so simple to tell who was at fault or if both people were at fault, right? Because I'm a firm believer in this. Sometimes one person could initially been at fault, but then if something is allowed to happen over a period of time,
then it's your fault.
Then you can share the burden.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And the hound changes direction.
Yeah. And so sometimes, we have to be mature enough to say, because how many of you all ever heard the statement of you teach people how to treat you?
Yeah.
Right. So if that's true, how long are you going to not teach?
Right.
Long, but not long. Long, but not long.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Because at some point, when you've had enough, if you're not articulating, let's say you are articulating it, right? And here's the thing that I've experienced in relationships, which is amazing to me. I have experienced people saying, for X amount of years, I've been telling you that this was a problem for me. And for X amount of years, you ignored me. Now you want to act like you don't know why you came home to an empty house. You knew why. I'm not going to keep discussing it. You ponder that on your own while you in that quiet time by yourself and not on social media looking for attention.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And most of us, we want to get on there and tell who did I marry without telling them other parts of the story. Because remember something, whenever you only hear one side of the story,
there's always
another part.
Come on now.
There's
and listen,
the waters run deep.
And because of my background and what I do, when I hear certain things, I'm like, that don't make no sense. That story. Let me tell y'all something. I heard
that background is life.
Let me tell you something. I heard a psychiatrist say this. She said her mentor had to remind her, and this was a woman now. This is a woman psychiatrist whose mentor was a woman. Guess what these two women learned over the amount of years that they have been practicing? Never, ever. This is how she said it. Now, these are not my words. These are her words. I'm just repeating them. Never, ever trust a woman when she's telling you about a problem in a relationship. I said, what? She said, because a woman is always going to speak from her side of the emotions. She's never going to tell you what she did to get the outcome that she's telling you about. what role she played in it.
Her
She
client.
said, always ask questions. And when you do that, typically you will find, oh, so you're really just upset with the response you got. But you didn't tell me that you said, AB. Have y'all ever seen a guy who talks a lot of trash, but he's always the victim?
Right, Corey.
Yes, exactly, Donna. Mm-hmm.
Right, Corey. Yeah.
He's always the victim. Talking all that trash, but he's always the victim.
And that's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear what she's saying, but I also hear the other side of that.
And that's why, and don't get me wrong, what she's saying is, and she's so right when I explain it. Mm-hmm. Society has a habit of wanting to believe it right off the bat because it's coming from tears. It's coming from emotions. So we get drawn in and sucked in to a situation, and we have no true context of how it really unfolded. And then when all of the facts come out, then it's kind of like, oh.
Thank you. Emotions are relayed in different ways. She may be giving tears, but he may be a fast talker.
No. I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing any of those things. But what I'm saying is, and you're talking about people who have a career in dealing with problem solving, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not suggesting that all women are guilty of this,
right?
But there is a common thread that even women in this field are starting to see, right?
Some but all.
Some but all. Yeah.
Some but not all.
So the deal is this. If I am a person who cannot hold myself accountable for my actions, but I only want to talk about the responses I got, but I ain't telling you it's because of my actions. I'm just telling you what the response was, and the response sounds harsh.
Yeah.
But I'm not telling you what I did, right? Like, for instance, the guy that cheats on the woman, and when the woman acts out, he goes, "She crazy."
Right.
Like, dude, that don't make no sense. You just telling me this woman just went off the rails for no reason? What happened? You see what I'm saying? So off the rip, you just can't believe she crazy without asking, what happened? What made her that mad? Because that ain't normal behavior.
There's no head chopping into this. We're all on the same page.
He said no head chopping.
I think that's why I was taught years ago that you got his side, her side, and the truth.
There you go.
Right.
His story, her story, and the truth.
Right. So I have no idea what psychiatrist, psychologist, therapist in their right mind is going to believe things right off the rip. I'm thinking you ask more questions like Mr. Rogers does to get to meat and potatoes.
Well, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Let the right amount of tears and snot come out of a person's nose.
No, we get that. We get that. I think the thing was it was more female dominated that was said.
Yes.
That's the thought. It was more female dominated than most, some women, some but all women.
But most.
You don't.
Most.
Hey,
women, most.
Hey.
Look, so look, check this out. So we'll go ahead, Corlin. Go ahead.
I think it's this. I think sometimes we trauma bond too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
So sometimes when we trauma bond, it's easier to believe the emotions that a person is given because we felt like we done been through something like that before.
There you go.
Or like you said, it's just like I had another thought too, but I completely forgot it. But I'm gonna go with trauma bond for right now. Go ahead, Mark.
Where's your notepad?
No.
Right.
I was just, I was just looking at some of the comments, and I guess I just want to just preface. Anytime in the way Jimmy explained it, it's almost like so we got probabilities and possibilities. Is it possible? Yes, probably more so than often, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when we make these particular points, they're going to be more of the probable part, right? More so than not, right? More so this happens. So I know someone said we're not all women. We definitely not speak. We definitely don't speak absolutes on our.
Exactly.
Right.
I wanted to
Not
clear that.
absolute, but the
Right.
late there and you know, here's the one thing what human beings are funny about. Let me tell y'all a little secret. Patterns of behavior never lie.
Right.
That's right.
It is what it is.
Right.
Men have certain patterns of behavior, and across the board, they are accurate. Does that mean all men do it? No, it does not. Just like women have certain patterns of behavior across the board. Does that mean all women do it? Absolutely not. But what you call it, some and all?
Some but not
Some and
all.
all.
Some but not
Yeah.
all.
Some, but not all. In most cases, more than not, right?
Yeah, I don't think we were responding off of thinking it was a generalization.
No, I was talking
The
about the
very
comment.
responding-
It was a comment down there.
Yeah, he was responding to
It
the
was a
comment.
comment
Oh,
down
okay.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are certain behaviors and traits that men have, just like there are certain behaviors and traits women have.
Yeah.
That's been scientifically proven, and all you have to do is just watch people's patterns of behavior. For
Right.
instance, whether you know you agree or disagree, all you got to do is listen. If you get into a room of women, I guarantee you will hear the phrase "I feel" about 1,000,000 times. That's a fact. Get into a room with a
Yeah.
group of women, the statement "I feel" will come up about 1,000 times.
I'm gonna be real with you. A few
What's that?
years ago, because this happened in education,
Mhm.
and I saw it trickling. It was everywhere else. I think we just got it from somewhere else. There's a thing called iMessages,
Mhm.
where instead of saying you just say "I feel,"
Mhm.
so that you're not accusing someone.
Yeah, and I
So,
think that is so immature.
but that's what was pushed. That's what was
So
told.
yeah.
You
So
hear a lot of people
yeah,
saying,
elaborate on that. When
It's
you
an
finish,
attempt-
Corey. When you finish, Corey.
yeah, because it was an attempt not to be accusatory.
Right.
But like I said, a lot of stuff we get in education is something somebody said on a show somewhere, and then we hire some people to tell us why we should do it, and we start doing it, and then it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
No,
But
from
honestly,
that
I've
from
never
from
heard
that
that.
perspective, Corey, from that perspective, you're right. But that's not talking about a problem.
Right. I get you, but
You
I
understand
think
what I'm saying?
that's
But see, they try to merge that into every aspect of life, right?
I-
Even when it comes
exactly.
to facts.
exactly.
Your
That's why when people
feelings
say,
don't matter when it comes to facts.
right, but that's when
Right.
people say my truth,
Right.
tell
Right.
your truth.
Yeah,
Your
and see,
truth
there's
is a
no such thing
bold-faced
as your
lie,
truth and my
sweetheart.
truth. Right, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't
Listen,
apply across the board.
anytime you have a person or a group of people talking about their truth and my truth,
Oh, I hate
you already
that.
dealing with
I don't like
delusional
that.
people.
Oh
I
my
can't.
You're already dealing with delusional
Well, my
people.
truth. Well, the
If
truth
we're
is,
gonna
if you
deal
ride in front of
with
their car,
the
your ass
truth,
gonna
the
get ran over.
only way we're gonna come to true resolution is if we're dealing with the truth.
The truth, absolutely.
Right.
The truth is the only thing that matters. So
Mm.
here's why I
Love
said
that.
that whole "I feel" thing is so immature.
Mhm.
Because if I'm in relationship, say Donna and I, we're married, right? And Donna in real time is literally saying or doing something that is problematic. Are you trying to tell me that I should say, you know, I feel that when so and so is said, it causes a strain on the relationship? You don't think Donna know I'm talking about her?
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
And you know, and it's so dangerous because it's an easy way out to be accountable.
Exactly.
It is.
Exactly.
It's an easy way
And
to be
here's the deal.
accountable.
When you don't call a person specifically to the carpet, they can always assume you ain't talking about them.
Right.
Right.
No,
Even if they
babe.
know you're
I
talking
don't
about.
appreciate it when you say or do this. I'm letting you know directly as two adults, I'm calling this to the carpet. Please stop doing this.
And how they respond will tell you everything you need.
Compliance, right?
Thank you.
Well, my
Everything
truth
you-
is,
See, this society is always
how
trying
I
to duck
feel.
responsibility. That's why they want to use these "I feel" statements.
Yep.
right.
Because they're trying to duck accountability and responsibility.
Because your feelings are valid.
Thank you. No, yeah, your feelings are only valid when they are directly connected to facts.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
Put that on the t-shirt. Hold up. Say that again.
Your
Well,
feelings are only valid when they are directly connected to facts.
That's good stuff.
Right.
Your
that is
feelings are not
totally good
valid
stuff.
when they are made up in your darn head because you don't want to admit the truth.
One more time.
Your feelings are only valid when they are connected to facts.
Mm. Mm.
Love it. Thank you. Putting that in my pipe.
Somebody said your feelings are valid, but not facts. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it sounds good.
Keish, that's a shorter way to put it on a t-shirt. Thanks.
Yeah. When they connected to facts, that's when your feelings are valid. Because otherwise, it is a piss poor attempt to manipulate a situation.
Yes. Because when you think about it, if we apply that elsewhere,
it don't relate nowhere.
Absolutely.
It don't
That's
apply
how we
anywhere
get
else in
people
life.
getting off for I felt afraid for my life. Did you really?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, we this society really has done a number on human beings because nobody wants to be accountable for their actions or for their words, and everybody wants to connect just do what you feel and live and let life. That is reckless. Whenever you just do what you want to do,
I'm hearing feedback.
That's reckless.
Yeah.
That's super reckless.
It is.
I think it's reckless if you're not balanced and connected to a higher power. I think it's reckless. I think I think if you're connected to a higher source, God, whatever they want to call it,
universe.
I think the universe, your feelings can be a guide if balanced and connected to a higher power.
Right, because now we're not even talking about feelings. We're really talking about intuition, and that's a difference.
Right, because most people don't, and most people don't understand the difference. So definitely have to. What about intuition? Right,
and if you look up the definition of intuition, you know it doesn't have anything to do with what we call our these emotions that we use to try to manipulate situations. Right, intuition is something that you know without having to be explained. Or it's something that you sense based on evidence that you see. You see what I'm saying? So if you ever walked into have you ever been in a space with a person and they just made you feel uneasy? You didn't know no information about this person. It was just something about their presence that just made you feel uncomfortable. Right? And how often did you find out a little bit later this person was off their rockers because they did something that made the news or everybody in the hood found out about it, right? And you like, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have no evidence of why you felt that way about that person. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't guided by no experience with this person. It wasn't guided by nothing you heard about this person. You just sensed something. That's intuition, right? That's part of intuition. Intuition is also you looking at the evidence of what this individual is doing, and you're saying to yourself, it's not a smart move to interact with this individual.
Yep.
So it would be considered spirit. So basically, it would be intuition would be more so defined as a spiritual, more of a spiritual perception.
That is one aspect of it.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that's the Latin. That's the original term for it.
Yep.
Right.
That's
absolutely.
It is so conscious that you're like, oh my goodness. You know, that's just like when you get into space with somebody that y'all just instantly connect. Like, how did you know you two were gonna hit it off the way that you're hitting it off? There was an intuition there. There was something that took place. Most people call it frequency. We were on the same energy. We, you know, whatever you want to call it. But
yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same thing. It's talking about the same thing.
What is going on with Antitheus?
I've dated a few lunatics, but stayed in for the excitement. Bad move.
Oh, Antitheus.
Oh,
that
wow,
makes
man.
What?
The ghost.
Hey,
Listen, let me tell y'all something, and we can argue, but Mark and I guarantee you, Cortland, also, we all know that you know that woman that's kind of throwed off. She probably the best in between them sheets.
She got that energy, boy.
You know what I'm saying?
When them feet in the air, when them
But
feet
you
in the
best
air,
believe, as soon as y'all finish, that other side of her gonna come out, and you're gonna be like, God,
Foot in the air.
That's just how it
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they do.
Somebody
For some
said-
reason, I don't know what's wrong with
I
electricity.
guess they're saying antithesis needs to be a guest. He needs to be a
No,
guest.
no.
I didn't realize she was that
We
crazy.
got a whole
Yeah,
other
you did.
platform for
You did.
antithesis.
You did.
We need to pre-record him. You know what I'm saying? It won't be live. It won't go on the air until after it has
No, you
been
gotta
monitored.
edit that.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
We
hilarious.
gotta do some editing with antithesis.
Yeah, that's funny.
Mhm.
Jimmy said, "God, dog."
Yeah, intuition. Somebody said women's intuition, spidey senses. Absolutely.
Well, you know,
Oh, most definitely.
I think it's selective though.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It-
What do you mean?
It's really selective. One of the podcasts that I like to watch, you know, they have a panel of relationship experts or whatever, and so this guy, I think I told you all about this. The guy got up and he asked a question. He said, "Do y'all believe in women's intuition?" And all the women in the room was like, "Yeah, yeah." He said, "Why can't y'all tell if y'all man unhappy?"
Yes. It was tonight's conversation. I remember that one.
He's like, "Why can't y'all ever tell y'all man ain't happy?" It's since y'all got all this tuition, right? It was you could have heard a needle drop. That's why I say intuition is selective. You know,
but sometimes people ignore. But hey, look, a good comeback would have been. I think sometimes people ignore it. That intuition though,
and that's that. No,
Right.
we know that.
Right.
That's why he made. That's
Right.
because how many of them was willing to say that though?
Right? No, they weren't gonna say that.
See, because if any woman had said that,
They're not
what she's
accountable enough for that.
actually admitting to is,
Right.
I recognize he unhappy. I just don't care to do nothing about
That
it.
was my fault. That was my fault.
That goes back to the accountability and women thing. You know, it kind of goes back to that a little bit. Not being accountable, saying, "Hey,
Okay,
I
so
might not be listening."
So, Donna, put up Keisha's comment. She says, "But we can, and when we ask, sometimes y'all are not honest." So, Keisha, I would ask you this, sweetheart, and I want you to be honest with just you yourself personally.
Don't type, Keith. Don't type.
How many times, if you've asked when he did say something and tell you what it was, and if the problem was you, and you deflected, you denied, you went left, he just chose at that point, you know what, I'm not gonna say anything else.
Keith, you ain't gotta type. I'm gonna answer. Got you, girl. Honestly, yeah, many times. That requires growth, though. That requires growth.
Right.
Because because you are gonna be like, what?
Exactly.
Me?
Okay, expand on that. I'm trying to understand what. Like, go ahead and repeat that another way.
No, I'm saying that requires growth. I mean, I many times was like, it was told you the problem. Ninja, you the problem. What you mean I'm the problem?
Right.
Because I'm da.
Yep.
But it requires growth. It requires growth. Excuse me, y'all.
Personal reflection. You know what I'm saying? So think about it this way. If your significant other comes to you with facts, receipts, showing you your patterns of behavior, and your first response is to deny, defend yourself, deflect, and then become disrespectful, because those are normally the 4 states it goes in. They're going to deny they did it. They're going to then deflect. They're going to try to play reverse psychology on you. You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to become disrespectful because now they're angry, right? So what you do is you train him to not be honest with you, or you train him not to even talk to you, because you've told him over a period of time, or her for that matter, if you want to flip it, that you are not willing to change. So why waste my breath telling this person over and over again? They've already told me I'm not willing to be corrected like that.
Yeah, it takes time to change certain behaviors, and that's when you truly care to change.
That's it.
Right.
Because
Right.
otherwise, here's what you're saying. I'm perfect. It's you the problem.
Right.
If something's wrong in this relationship, it cannot be me. It has to be you.
Right. Right.
Tell me if that's not the definition of a narcissist.
And just clearly what worked for somebody else may not be working for me.
And Donna, it didn't work for somebody else. That's why they with you now.
Moved along. Moved along.
Man, listen, I'm gonna say this, Donna. Unfortunately, in this society we live in, too many people overvalue themselves.
I agree.
Here's another statement that is so dangerous because it cannot be qualified. I know my worth. Who determines your worth? You or the marketplace?
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because
everybody's valuable just because they say it. What social proof do you have that you're valuable? And I can tell you what social proof I have to prove to you that you're not as valuable as you say you are. Because if you were as valuable as you say you are, nobody before this moment would have given you up.
Woo. Woo. There's a hush over the room.
So I think I'm back. And I got questions for you.
Mr.
Jimmy.
Hold on, Cortland. Corey,
looks
you look puzzled, my dear.
I was thinking about the statement. I was trying to, sometimes you gotta slow it down.
Soak it in.
Yeah.
So you said that if you are as valuable as you say you are, no one before this point would have given you up. What if those people weren't great people?
That could have very well been it, right?
Okay.
But how often is that the case every single breakup you've had?
What if you only had 2 breakups?
Okay, let's say 2. What was the common denominator?
Say again, you said, let's say.
Say it was 2.
Okay.
What was the common denominator in the 2 breakups?
Oh, well, the one person.
So although they may have not been good people, what that proves to me is you're not a good judge of character.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So somewhere along the line, you're gonna have to take some responsibility.
Your picker.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying, taking responsibility for choosing the wrong
choosing
person.
game is horrible, right?
Okay.
So I know very few people who have a brand new Mercedes-Benz, top of the line, and they can drive it and afford it. That'll give it up just cause.
Makes sense.
Okay.
No, you gonna hold on to something that's really valuable in your eyes. You see what I'm saying?
So
and a lot of times we overvalue ourselves, right? And like even with Joy said, I gave them up, right? And that's good because we've all been in relationship with somebody that wasn't, maybe a nice person or didn't meet our needs or whatever the case may be, right? But how she said, I want a Porsche now though. That's funny. But what I'm saying to this, anytime I talk to a person, even single people, because I deal with single people too, and I ask them, in 10 years, how many relationships have you been in? And when they give me that number, I'll ask them, how did you go from 1 to that number? Right? And very few times have I ever heard any of those people say something along the lines that, you know what, this relationship here, that person really wasn't no good. But this one right here, I was the problem in that one. I was.
Well, what if, because I got questions.
Shoot.
What if, what if people don't, I believe some people don't receive value because they don't know value, right? And then 2, why am I not allowed to set my own value, or is it called by another term that I'm just not putting out there? Why am I not allowed to say or believe or have confidence in myself that I deserve this caliber of treatment because of the value that I have assigned to myself?
Because the value you have assigned to yourself has not been socially proven.
Why does somebody got socially prove that? That's the question I'm asking.
Because that's the only way it's going to be tested as true or false.
Okay, but it's individually me.
No. So here's what I'm saying, Cortland. You can't tell me you're a good man, but no woman can validate it.
Okay.
See, that's something you assign to yourself, right? But somebody should be able to validate, yeah, Cortland is a good dude.
Okay, so what if they validate it, but those relationships, let's say you asked the last two young ladies I was with, right? They were, yeah, Cortland was a great guy. The relationship just fell apart.
Right.
Then does that validate, I guess I don't even want to use that as an example, to be honest.
No. That's a perfect example, Cortland. That's a perfect example.
Right, but I guess
you were validated as a good person. You just may not have been a good boyfriend.
Right, but I guess what I'm trying to say though is that when you look at a situation, and I hear what you're saying. I'm good person versus good boyfriend. I get that, but I guess when you look at a situation and you say, okay, that when you're doing the necessary steps inside of a relationship to make a situation work, not to say that you don't have faults, but it's like you and the other person are rubbing sandpaper, right? It's it started out good, but then at some point it got to a point that now it's starting to become maybe a contentious relationship, right? So it's okay, I know how to treat a young lady, but I don't know if we're playing a dangerous game. I feel like if I'm waiting for somebody else to assign that value to me, I feel like I should have.
No, that's not what we're saying, Cortland. That's not what we're saying. And see, here's the danger in what you like to do. You brought up one point, and I verified that point for you. The point was, if you believe you are a good dude, right? Somebody that you've been in a relationship with should be able to verify that, yes, indeed, Cortland is a good dude. It is not true just because Cortland said, I'm a good dude. Somebody outside of Cortland has to support that for it to be true. Does that make sense?
So basically what you're saying is they almost have to be that mirror, right?
Exactly.
That you can examine yourself by.
Exactly.
Right? And use it as a guide to possibly make some type of self-improvement.
So how do you know a scoring guard is a good scoring guard? The Negro got to score a lot of points. Right. You see what I'm saying? So just because a person say I'm a good woman would define good woman. You may have been a good woman to one guy or two guys, right? But if you've been in a relationship with 10, if you only were a good woman to two guys, that means you 20% out of 100. That's not good.
I think.
Okay, but what if real quick? I'm sorry, DJ. What if, like you were saying before, when you were saying to Corey, when you were saying maybe you picked the same caliber of person that just wasn't good for you in a relationship? That don't make you a bad person or a bad
no one never said that.
Boyfriend or girlfriend. You just pick people who did not value you and where you guys were at. So I don't think that screws up the validation, in my opinion. I just feel like you have to, I'm not waiting for somebody to validate who I am as a man. I'm just not you know what
we
I'm
never
saying?
said that. You're still taking that somewhere we didn't go. There was two things put on the table. If I say to the world, I'm a good guy,
right,
and there's nobody that had an interaction with me that can support what I just said, maybe I'm not telling the truth.
I don't see how that's any different from what I just said, though.
So
maybe I'm missing the point.
I think we have to go a little bit further in this thought. This is where accountability takes place. This is where accountability takes place. This is that part that says, okay, I'm a good woman.
You have to be,
I'm a valued woman or whatever. And like Jimmy said, until someone comes along and says what I'm saying as far as a relationship wise, if I'm what I'm saying as far as the other person is concerned. Because if it's a one-on-one, oh, I'm good all day. I'm the best. I don't need nobody to validate me. I'm gonna stay over here in my own little world, in my own little box. But if I want to be in this box, in this world with somebody else, somebody has to say, yo, that's a good woman. She is this, she is that. And it may just be for him, but that's going to be the one that works.
Right.
Because the person that I am, the value that I have is going to be valuable to someone else.
Right.
And we can grow and build off of that.
Exactly.
Oh, okay,
That's
so
all
let me
I'm
break
saying.
it down in layman terms to make sure I understand what you guys are saying. It's okay if somebody else is saying it about you, right? But if I'm saying it about myself in the context of going into in a relationship with somebody, then that's where the validation needs to be.
So put it like this, right?
It's so broad though. I see what he's saying. And it's kind of hard
right,
to connect the two.
Can I give an example?
I see what you're saying,
Too
Cortland.
broad.
But don't take it broad. Bring it right here.
No, I'm talking about the whole subject matter is broad because he has a point. I see what he's saying because I don't feel like we go through the world of dating or getting in relationships. It's good. Somebody, I mean, I don't believe like if you date 10 women, all 10 gonna say that. To I guess he like. So, I know what he's saying. I can't put it in context, but.
So
and I know what Jimmy's saying too. So it really they just showing
is validation sides. And your worth the same thing?
Okay, so let me give this analogy. Nobody you have a you okay. So let's just put it like this, right?
Yeah.
I decide that without any social proof that I'm a good guy.
Right.
Right. I've been married 3 times.
Okay.
You go talk to all 3 of my ex-wives.
Okay.
All of their stories are the same,
but
it doesn't paint me in the picture of a good guy.
Right.
Who's lying?
I mean, that could
maybe
be you.
Maybe the other 3 women.
That story's not true for everybody though.
No. See how you went off the rails? I gave you a specific scenario. I say I've been married 3 times.
Stay here.
Right.
I done told everybody I'm a good guy. You went and talked to all 3 of my ex-wives. All 3 of my ex-wives told you the same story, and they don't even know each other.
Right.
About me.
Right.
That does not say I'm a good guy. The question on the table about that scenario alone is who's lying?
Let's take it.
I don't know.
Let's take it to another level.
I think too much in life we look for validation from others, and that gets
see how you're not answering that question, Cortland?
I answered the question.
Wait a minute.
But I'm just saying.
Okay.
Now Jimmy had a question for you. I don't think you answered his question.
Right. Ain't nobody answered that. They both just.
I didn't hear an answer for my question.
You see what you're doing there?
No, I'm just saying.
No, I did answer your question. In your scenario, you're not as good as you think you are.
There we go.
But my
now,
answer,
what's your question?
But my answer and my rebuttal to that was that's not the same story for everybody. You see what I'm saying? I don't think it can be just put in a box like that.
That's self-evident. We know that. But we're talking about a person who claims to be great. If there is nobody outside of that person that can corroborate that story, you might not want to believe that person for face value. Right. Because somebody out in the world should be able to validate that person is as great as they say they are. You the only one that's saying this about yourself?
I get what you're saying from that standpoint, but I guess the point, and let me ask this question too, because y'all kind of glossed over it. Is validation and self-worth the same thing?
I like this one right here.
Go ahead.
They just keep.
You said it's validation and self-worth. What?
The same thing.
The same thing.
Okay, so validation is supporting self-worth.
Okay.
I could believe I'm the best basketball player on the face of the earth, but I have no stats to prove that.
Well, I can tell you I'm the best in my family. Well, second best in my family.
See, did you get the point that I'm making?
Yes, I did. I did.
I can say all day long I'm the best basketball player in the world, but I have no stats to support it. I don't have no passing stats. I don't have no scoring stats. I don't have no rebounding stats. Who can validate that?
Okay, you know what? And then also, as I'm sitting here listening to both you guys, I think it can be framed, and I can understand how Courtney can see it. It can definitely be framed as being not addressing the other side of his perspective. Like when you first originally made the point, it made it seems like that was universal. I think that's what he was actually trying to say. It sounded universal, and sometimes I guess when you're dealing with an audience of people, it's best to kind of touch the other side, right? Because those people are here too.
So
right?
So let me ask this question though. So are we suggesting on the other side?
Okay.
Because I'm the person that's saying I'm great, and ain't nobody else supporting. No.
Great and good is two different things, though.
Okay, good.
Okay,
good. Whatever adjective you want to use for yourself, are you sincerely telling me that you can assign different adjectives to yourself that nobody can support, and you want everybody to still believe they legitimate?
Absolutely, Jimmy. You're absolutely correct. I get your point. I'm with you.
That ain't how it works.
It don't work like that.
So
no.
Yeah. I think the problem is, and where the disconnect I'm seeing happening is, and I see it in the comments as well. I think people are feeling like and thinking it's saying you don't have any self-worth, you don't have any, say you're a great person, you don't work to be a good person, because until somebody comes along and says you're really not. And I get where the flow, but that's not
what I said.
That's not what, right. We have to stay right here. We have to stay right here. It can apply to anything.
That's right.
iPhone user, Android user, right? Those who have an iPhone will validate and say all day, iPhone is the best because it worked great for me. Takes better pictures, it does this, it does that. An Android user will take that Android and say, this is best. This works for me. This is great. It does this, it does that, it does this.
Subjective though.
But here's how we can prove that both. Here would be the worst argument, trying to say which one is the best.
Right.
But what we can say, they both are great because there's so many people that's using both of them and that will live and die by both of them.
Correct.
So in other words, the iPhone says, I'm great. The iPhone has social proof to support that it's great. If the Android says, I'm great, the Android has social proof to say it's great because a whole bunch of people got it, right? But what you all tried to just sit here and make me believe is that the Android could say I'm great, but ain't nobody buying no Android, but the Android still is great. No, that's foolery.
Right.
That's what I was saying. What I'm saying is, somebody has to be able to support what you're saying about yourself. I didn't say you weren't valued. What I said was some people overvalue themselves.
Some people
That's
do.
what I said.
Yeah. Yeah, some people do.
Right.
Some people overvalue.
Somebody made a very, very, very good point, and that's one of the things I was trying to say. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I had it up for a second. I want to read it because
talking about the looking at yourself.
Yes.
Well, while DJ is trying to find that, let me add more fuel to the fire. Between the Android and the iPhone,
it's right here. You have to be honest with yourself and do some true soul searching.
Yep, Shay said it.
Yep, Shay said it.
And that's what I was coming down to, right? So y'all know I'm pretty transparent with most things, and I don't have a problem because my situation may be someone else's situation, or it may help. You know, that's the point. That's what I'm here for. Right?
No, yeah.
Right. So I have been married 3 times. I have been married 3 times. I have not in any way, in point, shape, or fashion have given up on the fact of love and what it is and how God created it to be, the meaning of it, right? So in the fact of having 3 marriages and being in 3 relationships in that way, I am now coming to the point, not just now, but getting on somebody's couch, that's my bell, y'all, that counseling, revealing some things, seeing some things, learning some things. You have to be honest with yourself and do some true soul searching. 3 marriages? Why? Was all of it them? Nope.
But are you still? But were you? But are you? But you remain a good person, though, right?
Listen.
You just probably had some relationship challenges, but it didn't change who you are.
No. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. There were some parts of me and some things I did and said that were not good.
There you go.
They were not.
I understand that, but it doesn't mean just because you say stuff that don't mean you're a bad person.
No, listen to what I'm saying.
You can. We all have shortcomings where we can get into a space.
This is the thing. I'm acknowledging my shortcomings because even though it's me and I love me because Donna is great and fabulous and all of that.
Wait a minute. Where's the validation for that?
I had to realize.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you what I'm saying. Hey, let me tell you how I got true and real validation. Let me tell you what was honest. When I said on
I can validate you are because you're my cousin, but I'm saying
thank you, cousin.
It's the exact same thing. That's what I've been saying though. Like nobody needs to validate you for you to be able to feel that way.
Let her finish. You know what I mean? Let her finish saying what she's saying, though, Cortland.
You're right.
So what I had to do, I had to get on that couch. And I had to listen and realize there were some things coming up that developed me that were not so good. Because there were some situations in life that put some things in my life that made me think a certain way and move and act a certain way that was a response to the foolishness. So it started creating who I was. So what did I do? I, in turn, put that out in the world. I put it out in my relationships and I acted in that manner and I moved in that manner and I could give a damn who didn't like it. Move on to the next. But until I took some hard, honest looks and truth and was told and learned by some professionals that study this area in life, just like if my heart was having issues, I would go to the cardiologist. Sitting on that couch and they saying, hey, you're wrong. And I understand why you're wrong. And that doesn't make you a bad person. It just says there were some things that happened that created this thought process that you got to fix. That stuff got to get better if you want to move on to a healthier way to feel like I'm as good as I am. Because why? Because I didn't spew out my foolishness on this and that person. And they're saying, yo, for my children to say, you were this when we were growing up. But they can change it now and say, you know what? There's some stuff about you that I ain't rocking with still. But when my daughter says, that's my girl, you my girl, and she bragging on her mother, when I know there was some stuff that made her feel a certain way because I lived what I learned and I did what I knew.
Right.
But now I got some apologies to make. And I can do this thing even better. Y'all better come on. Y'all about to make
Donna. Put Alicia's coming up. Put Alicia's coming up.
Let me say this before you go to that
Cortland, real quick.
Go ahead.
Cortland, real quick. Let me ask you something. Based upon what Cortland, his original statement, I just want to just clarify because I'm all over.
No. The one that says you can be.
Do you guys feel that his statement can be true? His statement, I think.
Which one? Which statement?
Which one? Okay, give the statement and whatever the statement, whatever. I don't want to speak for him. I understand what he's saying, but Go ahead and the statement you made about the validation part, Corley.
I said so many.
There's somebody validating you. Somebody validating.
Yeah, that the necessary need to have someone to validate you in order to solidify how you feel about yourself. That's summarizing what I said.
Can that be true? Is my
okay.
question.
So let me answer that question. Let me answer that question. The answer is no. You do not need that to feel a certain way about yourself. However, you need to be true to yourself about who you really are.
Right.
Now, if you're not willing to look at your relationship with others outside of you, now you're lying to yourself about who you really are.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying.
There you go.
And that's why I said there's a difference between good and great. Good allows flaws. Good, I can make mistakes. Good, you know what I'm saying? I can mess up. Great, I'm almost perfect.
No. Don't look at it that way. Don't look at it that way, because you can be great in certain areas and still need growth in other areas.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You can
remember I said I love me. I'm a bad chick. I am.
No, I'm talking about in the context of we're talking about I'm a good man versus saying, well, I'm a great man. Like, that's almost braggadocious, right? And it's almost like saying I'm infallible. But if I say that I'm a good man, character of heart, and who I am and how I treat people, that's not saying I don't have shortcomings. That's not saying I might not make a mistake here or there. That's not saying that I'm not going to be true to myself and I'm not going to acknowledge certain things. That's not saying that, oh, you know what, I messed up, I need to fix this. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get you.
Yeah.
No, I get you. But let me ask you a question, though. Are you willing to say, even though you want to limit it down to just saying I'm a good man with all the things you just described, do you believe anybody outside of you and what you think in your head could verify that you are good?
Oh, most definitely.
That's all I was saying from the very beginning.
Yeah. But I don't.
All I was saying from the very beginning was
I don't need them to do that, though.
No. I didn't say you should need them to do it. What I said was, and that's why I kept trying to tell you, leave it where it is. All I'm saying was, if you are indeed a good person, which means you're not necessarily perfect, it just means, like you said, you're good at heart. You're not an evil-spirited person. There would be a ton of people whom you've come in contact with that could verify you.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And then what that would do is that would validate that you are genuinely good.
Right. But this is where the disconnect was for me, Jimmy. And I think the disconnect for a lot of people is when you talk about the validation of others. Let me phrase it this way. What does that look like? Because in layman's terms, I'm almost seeing it as if I need to call my job references to make sure that I'm even qualified for this job. In layman's terms, that's how I'm seeing it. So what does that look like, the verification that you're talking about of, the others to back up my claims of how I feel about myself? What does that look like?
So what I would challenge you and everybody else who felt kind of triggered by what I said, go back. I never used the word validation. You did. What I said was somebody should be able to verify or confirm that you are what you're saying you are.
Okay.
Somebody should be able to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying your worth is solely dependent on somebody else. No, I would never say that about anybody, right? Because you actually have haters out there, right? And if I happen to run across your haters and just believe what they're saying, but I'm saying somebody should be able to support whatever it is I'm saying about myself. Just like in the real world,
right?
If I was trying to buy a car, and because we got the Kelley Blue Book, right?
Yeah.
Everybody know what the Kelley Blue Book is for cars, right?
Right.
But I got a 1976 Buick with 800,000 miles on it. I'm trying to sell it for $40,000. And you go look at the Kelley Blue Book, that thing only worth $500.
Right.
I don't care what kind of personal attachment I have to this car, it still ain't worth what I'm trying to charge people for it.
Right.
Because there is a metric that would validate the car's worth. And there's a metric that validates if we are good people or not. Usually people ain't running from good people. They normally want to stay with good people.
Right.
Right.
Y'all saying the same
Yeah.
thing, even through definition, because
Somebody say, yeah, I'm
validate,
triggered.
Kevin.
validate, confirm, verify, all that stuff is the same.
Kevin is a fool.
It's the same.
But no, Kevin, you right on
It's
the
all
point. In the
same.
Bible, it's the terms faith without works is what? Dead.
Dead.
Donab dead. Yeah, you can say what you want to say, but if your works over a period of time, your patterns of behavior don't validate what you're saying, you're overvaluing yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I want
Right,
us to, we're gonna bring this to a close, but I want us to address this comment that's up.
To getting it. Oh, look, you see that one that he said, what about before you get there? What if you're on the way to getting the stripes? You can't have someone around you pointing out you have no stripes. Okay, so I agree with you, but let's start with your first question. What about before you get there? Before you get there, don't say you're there. Don't say you got stripes when you don't.
Why you can't speak into
No. You can say I want stripes. I want to be better. I want to be whatever. I want to be a sergeant. I want to be a lieutenant, but don't say I am a lieutenant and tell that to the world.
I disagree with that. I'm sorry. I am is so powerful.
No.
I am.
Mark,
is power.
listen to what I said.
Okay.
If in your head you desire to be a lieutenant, you can say that in your head. I am going to be a lieutenant, or I am a lieutenant. What I'm saying is, don't you put that out in the world talking about you a lieutenant, because people are gonna be checking your collar.
Exactly.
So you would say that in your own time by speaking.
Yes, you saying it to yourself, but
that's
you
what I'm
ain't
talking
telling
about.
the
I'm not
world
saying
that you already a lieutenant.
Because you're doing the work to be a lieutenant.
Right.
Don't nobody have to know that. Okay. You're doing that work. But if you go out there,
why not? Why
that's
not?
Like
though?
that.
What's
that's
wrong
like
with
that woman that was doing sign language. And didn't know a bit of it.
Yeah.
I remember. People she could do sign language, and they was up there like they trying to warn people of this storm, and she up there.
and she didn't have no sign language. That jump was funny to the world.
It was.
It was. But that's not saying
so
you're
we're talking about two different things. We're talking about a person that is saying, "Hey, I know I'm in this state right now, but I desire to be better." So now you're not only you saying those words to yourself, you're also doing something to get better, right? What we're talking about is don't put it out to the masses that you're already that thing before you've actually become that thing. That's what I'm saying.
There you go. Right. Thank you. Sometimes I have to do that. We got people watching, so we got to cover it all. That's the best way to cover it. And that's a good way of clarifying.
All right, y'all.
What reputation is mentioned about you when you're not around? What reputation is mentioned?
Oh, I think she's making a statement.
Yeah.
What
I like that.
Said? Yeah. What is being said when you're not around?
Right.
Yeah. There you go. What is being said?
Donna, here's the truth of the matter, and I don't care if you talk to anybody that's in the psychology field or counseling field. We all suffer from the same problem at one point or another throughout our life's journey. We all see ourselves much better than we may actually be in life. Right? Sometimes, and that's what we call overvaluing yourself. Like, right, I can say to myself, I'm a good guy, right? And I could base that off of my interactions with other people. But a lot of people are not basing that off of social proof. They're just basing it off of because that's personally assigned value. You know, how can a man say he's a good husband if he don't have no wives that can verify that? How can she say she's a great wife if she doesn't have any husbands to verify that? We're not saying that as a human being she's not validated. We're just saying that she may not be validated as a good wife.
Right.
If she don't have some husbands to support that statement.
Right. Actual factual.
Because I know some guys right now who who got divorced from a woman, and then they will tell you, man, that was a good woman.
That was the worst mistake I ever made.
Man, that was a good woman.
Right.
Like, okay, she was a good woman. Now she's validated. I mean, she's validated as a good wife. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, let's be specific. We're being specific.
She's good.
As a wife.
She's been validated as a good wife because her ex-husband said it.
Not as a person.
Right.
As a wife.
Somebody says social proof is subjective. No, it's not. Social proof is not subjective.
What if you're just a hater?
No. But even being a hater can be proven easily.
Right. What did Michelle just say?
Works without.
Was that it? What reputation is meant? Even haters, right?
Haters can only hate because there's evidence to prove what they're saying or disprove it. Somebody said what I missed.
Everything.
I don't need that ninja to validate me, but he has
ninja. They said ninja.
That's what I said, ninja. That's funny. That Joy is hilarious.
All right, y'all. We're gonna wrap this one up. It's 10:30. We so enjoyed as usual, which is why it's 10:30.
So Cortland gonna come up with the next. I mean, not Cortland, but Corey gonna come up with the next one.
We'll do that in a little powwow. Evidence can be manufactured.
Exactly.
What?
Haters.
Somebody said evidence can be manufactured.
Jimmy, don't read it. I was trying not to.
Haters in the building.
Hey, yeah, that's
that darn Kevin.
Kevin.
Hilarious,
sir.
Team Kevin, let's go,
sir.
Except for the Rose. I'm Team Kevin, except for the Rose. Team Kevin, let's go.
Right.
You better shoot. Look, there you go. There you go. Yeah, this was a good topic. I love when we can span off and we can build on our scenarios and our topics and our subjects. I love when we can do this. Listen, all y'all have to do is come back next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. We can't stay all night. Some of us got to get up for work.
Cheryl say tag her next time.
Who?
Somebody named Cheryl Ann.
Cheryl Ann, next Tuesday, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard. We will be right here. Same back channel, same, how you say that? Same
time, same back channel.
Back channel, back station. Yeah.
Back channel, back station.
Joy.
Put it in your Google Calendar.
Yeah, put it in your calendar. So
Shay said, I like y'all. I'll be back.
All right, Shay.
All right, Shay.
Listen, invite somebody, bring somebody with you. The It's Your Fault series. We're on episode 5. We have 3 more to go. Possibly. I'm gonna talk to the crew about that.
Hey, can we ask Joy to send us a scenarios that we can talk about whose fault it was? Because Joy,
or let's be interactive. Drop a suggestion in Donna's box. You know what I'm saying? Like this is really for you. Listen, here's the thing. I truly believe it's for y'all. You know what I mean? So, I mean, honestly, no shade or nothing. Look, we got people locked in, but I understand everybody that has to go to bed. But we do have people locked in. So yeah, come back. But I think you guys should definitely come up with a scenario. That would be
Joy, come on now. Joy had some comments.
She got one. Joy gonna
and also, what was it? Kevin
Antithias. Kevin.
I just need to know about the high school friend.
It's not just about us giving scenarios, y'all. We want y'all to, like you said, drop your scenarios, your thoughts in my inbox.
And if you don't want your name mentioned in the scenario, just say so.
Just say so.
There we go. Let's get a real life scenario.
Let's talk about the scenario.
Right. Yep. Because this is real life relationship growth. We want to grow, y'all. We don't want to stay stagnant. We don't want to keep revolving around relationship after relationship.
Just repeating the same old unhealthy, dysfunctional cycle.
Hey, you know what? I just want to validate everybody on this panel and everybody in
There's something wrong with him.
And everybody listening that you all are good people, no matter what. And I said it, so it's true. Facts, baby. Let's go.
Even when you're bad, you're good. Even when you're bad, you're good.
Sometimes that's when you're the best.
All right, y'all. We will see you guys next week,
Oh.
Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Real Life Relationship Growth YouTube channel. Hopefully, Faith be back up. Mark's he is sharing through Facebook. Appreciate it. Listen, drop your scenarios, drop your topics. Y'all can drop them with Mark. Y'all can drop them with me. Donna Wall is my personal
Whoever.
page. Still working on the other one.
Donna,
Any of us y'all see here. Wall Donna. Woo, thank you. Because I had to do that again. It's Wall Donna. Thank you, Cortland. I appreciate that. Any of us that you see on this panel, y'all can drop a scenario and we will try our best to get to it. Remember, we have 3 Tuesdays left. If y'all want more, y'all got to give us more.
Hey, look, guess what? I'm gonna throw a suggestion and I'll put 4 of y'all under pressure on this one. Let's just say next time we run into the last one, let's just go till we can't go no more. What's up? What y'all want to do? Oh, it don't sound right. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, Mark.
My bad.
Mark, you single.
My bad. I forgot. Hey,
that would be the 26th.
Hey, let me
I'm on spring break. I can do it. I'm locked in.
Guess what?
You on spring break?
Yes, I am.
Just look at that calendar, boy.
Right.
What's that day?
This is a business, not a hustle for me. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's a business, not a hustle. So
I enjoy after the party. Yes,
I like Joy.
Joy.
I like Joy. All right,
Great, Joy.
All right, y'all. We'll consider an all-nighter, but we're gonna have to schedule
not
that.
all night, at least 3-4 hours.
You said until we can't go no more.
I don't literally mean all night. I mean,
he said we're doing a lock in like they used to do at church.
Hey, man.
We're doing a lock in.
Because I'll fall asleep right here on these keys. Like,
hey, that's all right.
Hey, don't do that.
Wake up and say something. Wake up and say
I
something.
had to Victoria wake up text. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like,
no, when you sent it, I was actually reading the responses.
oh, that's what you were doing.
Yeah, I was reading the
That's what you call
responses.
it. Because them eyes was getting real low.
Man, I just love the comments and I really love the interaction, Donna. That is so powerful.
Most definitely.
That is super, super powerful.
Most
and
definitely.
Joy, I don't know you personally, but I believe you might be a good person.
God, great Joy.
Joy, good. That was a good. Joy, a good person. I've been knowing Joy.
Joy say, I don't need that ninja to validate me.
Joy was like,
I've been knowing her for 4 years. Guess what? I've been knowing her for 4 years. I've been knowing her for 4 years. She's single, so it might be something.
Go to type of Joy. Joy said, and Jimmy.
Joy sound like she is hilarious.
Listen, I love y'all. Joy. Good night.
Good night. Bye, Donna. I ain't gonna fool with y'all no more. Good night.
See y'all next week.
Mark, I do want to be here, man. That's why I'm, I'll consider it all nighter with you. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark. I think we just really want to be here.
Hey, man.